Usually the sights and sounds of Daytona Beach usually consist of palm trees laying back and hanging out, but tonight we're not going to be doing a whole lot of hanging out. We got 40 guys with a whole bunch of horsepower under the hood ready to take the high bank Daytona to start their season in the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. My name is Funny Kuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Sleppy, ready here for another season racing. Season 4, guys. Glad to have you with me for it.
It's going to be a fun one for sure. I'm excited. Always like seeing these pro cars go back and forth at Daytona, especially. These things are going to be back and forth because they're going to be pretty out of shape. Going to be an exciting season. Everyone's going to be looking to dethrone the 7 of James Scioli, who was the series champion pretty easy last year with 7 wins. I don't know it was close, but he had to be a father late in the season, so we'll see if anyone can knock off the 7 this season.
I'm very excited to see the Pro Series back in the title here. This is the Xfinity cars. If you remember back in season 1 of Area, the first ever season, we had 4 different series, and one of them was the Area Pro Series. That was the ARCA cars. Well, not running ARCA cars. It's just a change of the title and new sponsor. Well, not really a new sponsor, just a new name for the sponsor. Lodgebox transitions now into Florida State Builders, and figured it was a good time to rebrand as the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series, and I'm really looking forward to tonight's race. Got less than 4 minutes left in practice, and one of the drivers to keep an eye on has to be Justin Anasogok in the 88 car for David Weishart Racing. Won the Truck Series race Tuesday night. He's still hungry for another win here in another series, so I'd have to keep an eye on that 88 car.
You're watching him heading off into turn number 1. Get the scoring up on the left-hand side. Not that it matters a whole lot here in practice, but everyone getting warm up for the season. As mentioned, Justin Anasoga in the 88 machine, trying to see if he can get 2 for 3 here at Daytona. Beautiful paint scheme in the number 8. Right ahead of him, the 48 machine, trying to see who that is. Paul Swervin Urban in 19th at the moment.
I was going to have to look at the 88. He was an aggressive pusher Tuesday night in the truck race, and it played in his favor. He was able to push his way up to the front when it mattered most. So when he wrecked behind him, no one could make a move on him, and it worked out just perfectly. But it's going to be a little bit different conditions, and obviously a different car tonight for Anasogok. And also going to have to look at the 38 of Shane Theory, and if I'm not mistaken, he's always fast in general, but he's gone back-to-back. He's won 2 of 3 in the Xfinity cars at Daytona since Area Season 1, so he's going for 3 in a row tonight.
I was trying to find out where on earth he was. I couldn't find him on the timing sheets because he hasn't put down a time yet. Again, doesn't matter a whole lot about that beautiful 38 Toyota Supra waiting down on pit road, just kind of waiting for the time to come out. But how about Brian Chambliss, top of the time sheets in his number 9 machine with Bowie Esports? I believe this is a team move, if I'm not mistaken.
Looking at it, Bowie Esports. Yes, he's an affiliate for them, the Bowie Esports Association. They've already got their 4 cars slated out for the Pro Series. They got Nick Silver, Chris Rabel, Ryan Dunkelberger, and Rob Ackley. So this is an affiliate car. Brian Chambliss is just looking to help out the guys there. And here's Matt Alverson, new number for Matt over part of Darnell. Actually, no, I don't believe he's a part of Darnell Racing, but it's a new number for him in the 21. Currently the second quickest time on the board, and while we got a minute and a half remaining, you mentioned it, Connor, aggressive pushers. On Monday night, it seemed like you were better as the pusher than the pushy, if you will. So as a driver, what does that do if you're getting bumped? Like, does it affect you in any way? Like, some people can handle it, some people can't, but you, my friend, are a really good pusher. How does that affect the mental stability of the driver?
Well, getting pushed is just fine. No one wanted to go for me, though. No one wanted to go with me, though. That was a shame. But yeah, pushing, it really makes you got to focus up a lot more once you're getting shoved to the front. It's definitely different in a cup car because you can easily tandem in a cup car like me and Jake Nichols showed. It's not really a thing in the trucks or the Xfinity cars. As I say that, we're looking down the backstretch. Greg Mitchell is making it work pretty well with the 62. That is Alex Weaver, maybe a new name if I'm not mistaken. Those two are making it work, but it's really not too effective unless you're at the 3rd line and there's 2 lanes locked in bumper to bumper. It really worked well in the truck race when we saw Cameron Hearn try to make a tandem work, and it worked well, but I don't see that happening tonight. You really have to focus more when you have someone on your bumper. You have to keep a steady wheel, a straight line, and if you don't, that driver could get on your left rear or right rear, and you're probably going around, so you have to be absolutely smooth if you want to make it work.
Watching guys come down on a pit lane, and you see the 84 Shane Abbey actually come sliding through his box. Guys, this is something we usually don't talk a whole lot about because it's not the most flashy part of racing, but especially at Daytona, it can cost you, or it can either earn you a victory or cost you a victory.
No doubt about it. This is fair. It's definitely do or die at a track like Daytona and obviously Talladega. Oh, Shane Abbey's crew's got some sporty jackets there, but yeah, do or die. It's always on edge here. Even when you're trying to run in the back of the pack, we saw last night that it can end in disaster, even if you're only in a 4-car, 4-truck line. So you have to be on your toes each and every moment in the 95-lap race we have tonight.
Oh,
yeah, going to be...
No, go ahead, Hunter.
I was just going to say, it's going to be interesting seeing where the winner comes from the field. Looking at it, got an average starting position of around, I'd say, 8th or 9th throughout the field. Chris Seinfeld won this race from 10th back in Season 1. Shane Therian won from the pole in Season 2. And he won from 15th in Season 3. So it will be interesting where the winner comes from in the field. But I got to say, if you're starting within the first 5 rows, you're setting yourself up for a pretty good position to win, just like the 3-car of Ryan Hart's.
Watching get on track here, we got qualifying underway. And if I just want to clarify for this, we have 1 lap or 2 lap for this qualifying session?
Tonight, it's going to be 1 lap as well. It's something we saw come into play last night. I believe it was Brian Chambliss, actually, who ran high on 1 lap and went to go to the bottom for a 2nd lap. You don't get a 2nd lap, so you have to make up a lot of time on your out lap, especially on the apron. Got to be clean coming off the apron and through the bloodline out of turn 2 and be up the top out of turn 3 and 4 and gradually bring it down to the bottom through the tri-oval like Ryan Hart's did and James Scioli did as well. Let it drift up a little bit really to that seam, which is a really good marker to bring it back up to, and then just let the car go down to the double yellow line by itself. And that's pretty much as simple as a qualifying lap at Daytona gets.
And you see that 7 of Scioli was going around for his lap. He is a defending Pro Series champion, and mentioned that took 1 driver, really had to become a father, so really unfortunate there, but Alan Elwood no longer in the Pro Series, has shifted his focus to 1 night of racing, and that's Tuesday nights in the Truck Series, but Sky Motorsports still there. Shane Therian still with Sky Motorsports, could make it unprecedented 3 in a row victories to kick off the season here at Daytona, and they got a new driver as well as Tom Bourne, who's had some pretty good runs back in Season 3. So looking to see what Sky Motorsports can do as the 7 takes it to the top of the chart amongst himself. Actually, Rob Ackley is just taking over as that top time getter, and there's the 33 of David Weishart. Now this is interesting with the 33 of Weishart, part of Slaughter Sim Racing. Cameron Hearn, Chris Seidenfeinen, and Brad Slaughter amongst those as well. And Brad Slaughter knows a thing or two about winning here at Daytona in the Area 500 back in Season 2. And
also a truck win here.
Yes. So only needing a Pro Series win. And there's Jordan Martin, also knows a thing or two about winning on super speedways, won in the Cup Series back in Season 2.
Yeah, watching a lot of the guys come through the line. And another thing we have to talk about, guys, we have a lot of entries here tonight. I believe we had over 43, which means that we're going to end up 46 in total. Yes, we're going to be sending a couple guys home. Again, for those who are unaware, there are charters used for the league or something similar. I'm not sure if you guys officially call them charters or not, but
I believe they are. Yes,
basically
they are charters.
They are. Okay, so basically this charter system that NASCAR uses in real life. So there are guys that are set to go. However, there are a bunch of open spots where guys have to race their way in on qualifying, and you only have that 1 lap to do it. Cannot afford to make a mistake. Jordan Moore, one of those guys, he's in, doesn't have to really worry about where he qualifies. Of course, he wanted to be near the top, and he will be near the top, up in 3rd.
I'm just glad they're not as expensive as NASCAR charters, because they're good. 1, I'm glad I'm locked into Cup races, and B, I'm glad I am not homeless because of how expensive they could be. But they're not expensive, which is good. Looking at the timesheets here, just quickly, Hunter, is it going to be 3 going home or 6? Because I keep forgetting if we do 40 or 43 for Pro.
It's 43, so I believe 3 will go home. So 36 cars are locked in. There's 10 different teams with the charters. And then you have about 7 or so remaining open availabilities for those on the open cars. Like, for example, Greg Mitchell in the 2. He's a satellite driver for Physicus Motorsports, still affiliated with them, but he's not listed as a charter driver. So he has to race his way in if he wants to race tonight. Same with Matt Alberson, and we saw second fastest time in practice.
So Shane Abbey, another driver on the cusp of getting in or going home. He's actually starting his first lap just now across the line. Keep an eye and see if he can race his way into the show. We're talking about Shane Terry, not a good qualifying effort for the 38, all the way back down in 35th. So he's going to have a long night ahead of him.
Cameron Hearn, it's almost like he just pretty much either phoned his lap in or ran the top on accident, but he's been racing the past few nights, so I doubt he forgot about the rule and just pretty much maybe threw it away, wanted to start at the back, but we know he was the aggressor on Tuesday night, so we'll see what he can do. Looking at the timesheet, it was Rob Ackley at the top of the sheets, but now it's Travis Beckner, and he put a solid lap down at 50.659. That is well faster than anyone else. Him and Rob Ackley put great laps down, and they should be the front row. We'll see.
Dominic DeLeo, the 22, coming across the line now to complete his time lap. Sorry, start his time lap. I keep trying to keep track of whether these guys are on their lap or not. It's hard to tell when they're up to top speed 100.
I'll say give props to Andrew Phipps over there, the highest open car in third. I think it's safe to say that he'll make the show. Gotta see if Don DeLeo will make the show as well. Again, open car. Even for the owner of Physicus Motorsports, he doesn't run full-time in the Launch Box Series, so he's going to run in every now and then as an open car, looking to make the field tonight and continue growing Physicus Motorsports across area.
Riding on board with him out at turn number 4. Nothing really you can do, really, as far as techniques matter, just, where you turn in, how much you turn in with the wheel, the micro adjustments, the small adjustments. He comes flying through the trial below the apron just to give himself a couple more thousandths of a second.
Oh,
and he's near the bottom, 34th. We'll have to see. That's kind of cutting it close. He might be out.
Yeah, he got to do a little more than that. I was thinking he wasn't really close enough to the bottom, as we're coming to about 3.5 minutes left. Alex Weaver finished their lap 50.838, literally 2/1000ths of a second faster than Dom DeLeo, so that's as close as it can get at Daytona. Not many other drivers on track right now. Jacob Hudson, the 96, going around 3 and 4 to complete his lap right now.
I was told by Ryan Swan to keep an eye on the number 96 car. Didn't give me anything else other than just to keep an eye on him, so we'll have to keep an eye on Jacob Hudson throughout the night as he comes across the start-finish line.
50.835.
Not starting. Put it down time. It's faster than DeLeo.
I was about to say, the last 3 drivers we looked at within 5/1000ths. That's as weird as it gets.
Yeah,
actually, Hudson's a part of Hartman Coupe Motorsports, along with Jeff Wilson, Andrew Santo, and Austin Gakjone. So he's already locked into the field.
Speaking of Austin, getting out on the track, I don't... will he have enough time?
Yes.
I'm thinking... Sorry, my brain's so used to 2 laps of qualifying and doing the math that way. Yeah, with 1 lap, he's definitely got more than enough time. So getting his number 8 Chevy Camaro up to speed.
He is going to be probably the last one to put a time down. You got to get going really now if you want to put another time down. So it'll likely just be Gakjone and John Furness, the last 2 to put a time down. Furness has actually just finished his lap by 50.819, only puts him 29th. Not as good as it could have been. Andrew Zanto is going to try to get on track very late.
Well,
nope, he's shutting it down.
Nope. I was going to say that would be an interesting strategy. So currently, it seems like Spencer Brown, Dom DeLeo, and Charles Canita would be the DA and Qs, so might be missing a couple. On the website, areairacing.com, it's got 48 listed drivers for the Launch Box Series, and these were literally updated about an hour before the session opened, so we were still getting new entries in, but it seems like a couple are missing, and at the moment, 3 are going home.
Yeah, quite unfortunate to see a couple of drivers go home, but it's amazing to see so much interest in this series, and I believe we were looking at a similar situation for this group of drivers last season as well. More drivers trying to qualify in for fewer spots that are available, so it's a good problem to have in a way. But of course, unfortunate for the three guys that will be walking home. Gak Joan across the line, going to be pretty much smack dab midfield in 21st place.
And that'll be our last driver to put a time down. Furnace is running laps. Excited to see what Furnace could do. Took him a long time to get a win in this Pro Series, this Xfinity Series last season, but he was able to do it, and then he kind of went on a tear. He was unfortunately, I believe, not able to get to race for that championship, although he made the Final Four. So excited to see if he can make it back there and really mount the charge.
I would say that's probably the number one contender for the championship against James Scioli, because really the other number one contender was Alan Elwood, as I mentioned, became a father, had to shift his focus on fatherhood and parenthood, and really only run one night. That's, again, Tuesday night for the Truck Series, so you'll still get to see Alan Elwood compete in area, just not on Thursday nights anymore. But, again, still got Sky Motorsports in his team, and really now it's to the head of Shane Therian to kind of carry that program and see if he can go 3 in a row at Daytona.
Indeed, we can see him. Let's see if he can get it done. First things first, though, got to thank our starting grid sponsor, Roasted Gems Coffee. Race fans, start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems Coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code AREA iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. That's again, AREA iRacing for 10% off your order at roastedgems.com. Guys, got a big starting lineup, so without further ado, actually, we have a warm-up period, right? Forgot about the warm-up period because on Sunday we went straight to it. So we do have a little bit of time to discuss a little bit more. But I guess before we get down to the actual event, any particular picks that fancy your guys' taste buds, I guess, going into the race?
I'm looking at Ryan Hartz. He's already a winner here at Daytona. He's pretty good, just super speedway racer in general. He's gotten it done 3 times in a truck series. So I feel like he's really well equipped to get this one done at Daytona. He's got a little bit of work to do. He's starting 15th, but I got a lot of faith in him.
As for me, I'm going to keep my eye on Brad Slaughter. I wouldn't count out Shane Therian either. Really good at Daytona, but as mentioned, he's won the Area 500. He's won a truck race here as well at Daytona. Has yet to win a launch box race at Daytona. So my pick's going to be Brad Slaughter, and he's going to have the triple crown here at Daytona.
Yeah, I was going to say, good thing you didn't pick Shane Therian, because I'm going to keep my eye on the number 38. He's going to be starting from the back, but we have 95 laps to navigate. I think that's more than enough time to get that 38 car to the front. I think the big thing, really for him and anyone else starting in the back, pretty much the entire back half of the field, is trying to get your way forward without getting yourself caught up in a wreck. How do you do that? Your guess is as good as mine. I think really just a matter of just kind of it's a lot of hope in this race, hoping things go your way, because we've seen in the past, guys, a lot of things out of your control.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You really can't control much here. It's really go where they're not. Cameron Hearn showed that in a truck race the other night, where you're only running 2 lanes. Only 2 lanes locked bumper to bumper for a lot of that race. What did he do? Who went to the top, got a few friends to go with him, and he kind of went right to the front with whoever pushed him, really. And it's going to be about that. It's go where they're not. If they're not on the third line, make a third line. If they're kind of splitting up the middle, maybe go for the middle and try to get a run through there before it closes back up. You got to be aggressive if you want to get up to the front all the way back from 25th. If you're not aggressive on track, maybe be aggressive on fuel strategy and even tire strategy. Maybe take 2 tires, maybe even no tires, and be very close on fuel if you want to make it to the front pretty early on.
Just looking now at the Twitch chat, we have a question again. Who will be, or what will be, the winning car number? Will it be over or under 29.5? Now, on Monday, it was 28.5 because that's Travis Beckner's number. Again, he won last season's Area 500, but Seth Knoll ended up winning, and his number was 1. So if you bet the under, you won that. And you can wager as little as 100 channel points up to 10,000 channel points. Again, that's exclamation point bet, and then the word over or under.
Yeah, let's see what these guys are going to bet indeed for that here. Waiting for the warm-up period to finish here. The track nice and quiet. Not a single soul out there on the racetrack. These guys have 5 minutes to warm up. I think everyone's had more than enough warm up, especially with the duration of speed weeks. We've had so much racing here at Daytona, from the shootout. We had we had qualifying for the 500, the duels, the 500 itself, the truck race on Tuesday, and now finally here on Thursday, the Pro Series. I'm sure some of these guys are probably sick of Daytona and can't wait to get out, especially a lot of the guys that suffered from bad luck. Connor, I think I was gonna throw your name in there. The speed weeks didn't start off to the best, I think, as you would have hoped.
I'm not a plate racer. It's my excuse. I ran fine. I just, you can't get away with going down pit road to avoid a wreck, unfortunately. And that's something which kind of played into my bad luck. Is something we're going to have to look for tonight, especially. We saw it in both races where we went green for a pretty long while in the truck race, in the cup race, and then you got a late yellow caused by whatever was at the front or at the back. A yellow comes out, and cautions breed cautions. You're going to have to be ready to kind of play the yellows. Once one yellow comes out, you might just have to get to the front right then and there, because you might not get another long enough run to make it happen.
Yeah, it looks like warm-up period is going to be ending right about now. That means, guys, we're going to be lining up here for the Florida State Builders 250. 95 laps are going to be on the board. And considering the giant amount of cars that have attempted to qualify for this race, Connor, let's start through our starting lineup. Starting on pole, it's going to be Travis Beckner in the number 27 machine. Rob Ackley is going to share that row with him in the Ford Mustang in second place.
Both in the 50.6 bracket, the only two to be in that bracket. Then on the second row, Andrew Phipps in the 25 Chevrolet Camaro. Alongside him is going to be the 17 Ford Mustang of Jordan D. Martin.
Moving on in behind them, Nick Silver is going to line up in the 46. Colin Famro in 6th in the 18 machine next to him.
Chris Rabel is going to start 7th tonight, so fast in the truck race. We'll see what he can do tonight back in his 29 car. And Justin Anasogak in the 88, the truck winner from Tuesday night.
In behind them, Brian Chamla is going to be rolling off in the 19 car in 9th place. Next to him, David Weishart in the 33 in 10th place.
The two-time Truck Series champion Brad Slaughter Jr., also a Daytona winner. He starts 11th. Tom Bourne in a 16, who had some struggles on Tuesday night, starts 12th.
Moving on back in 13th, we have Mason Kane in the 31 machine. Next to him, James Kyle in the number 7 in 14th place.
Ryan Hart starts 15th place in the famed number 3 Camaro. And then Justin Munsell with a new look this season, or Acon Supra in 16th.
Very nice colors on that number 6. Really enjoying it. Back in behind them in 17th is going to be the 2-car Greg Mitchell on the inside. Next to him, Casey Lakatos in the number 50 Toyota Supra.
Ed Robertson starts in the top half of the field, starting 19th place, and a 09 to ever recognizable green and black 09 of Bryce Senesac.
Moving on back in behind them, Austin Gacon in the 8 machine. Michael Muhammad line up next to him, the 70 in 22nd.
Chuck Sweeting starts 23rd. Need some logos on that hood, Chuck. The 75 looking sporty regardless, and obviously another recognizable scheme in the Pro Series. Bass Pro Shops number 4, Matthew Cochran.
Back in behind them, number 20 Hyper X machine. And that is Ryan Swan next to Matt Alverson in the 21 car in 26 next to him.
Swervin' Paul Irvin with a different look. A lot of colors on that 48 car this season to start out Daytona. He starts 27th. Alongside him, it's Jeremy Little.
Now, right in behind them in 29th is going to be James Coey in the 24 machine. John Furness in the 28 cars we line up in 30th.
The Petty 43 is what the font is on that Camaro. That's Matthew W. Bell. And then the 84, one of our open drivers, I believe, to make the field as they start to roll off. That's the 84, Shane Abbey.
And behind them is going to be Chris Seidenfein in the 45 machine. Charles Canita in 34th. I believe he's one of the drivers that didn't make it, so he would not be gridding.
And then we get to Alex Weaver in the 62, the Subway machine, the 62. And then Forrest Smith, who's had speed in these pro cars for a while now. He starts 36th.
I was going to mention Jacob Hudson in 35th in the 96. Back in behind them, Spencer Brown did not qualify. Steve Durham in the number 1 machines rolling off. Got Jeffrey Wilson in the 98 and 41st. Shane Terry in 42nd. Cameron Hearn, skipped over a page. Cameron Hearn Ryan Dunkelberg, Garrett Grant, and Andrew Santano, I believe, are going to be rounding out your grid. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to tell. I have a bunch of guys rolling off.
Yes, Charles Canita, Dom DeLeo, Spencer Brown are the DNQs. Andrew Zanto rounds out this 43-car field tonight as we that's how long it took. We're almost ready to go green already.
Everyone lining up. You can see a giant field of cars forming and still forming. You can see still disconnected in the background here. We have a long season waiting ahead for these drivers and a bunch of them ready to get going. Ace car is going to make the left-hand turn onto pit lane as we get ready to start here for the Florida Estate Builders Area Pro Series. Getting ready to go. And the green flag's in the air to start another season, season number 4. Beautiful sound of 43 cars getting underway here at Daytona. Lap number 1 complete here. That's going to be Rob Ackley leading over the 27 of Travis Beckner, stuck in the inside lane, but we're seeing those two lanes form and form up strong.
I wouldn't say stuck in the inside lane, but he's doing a good job down there regardless. 25, the one pushing him, but Ackley got a great push from Jordan Martin. That outside lane pretty formed up. Colin Fambro in there as well, as already starting to see sort of 2 packs for him. There's 20 of them packed pretty tightly, and it gets very sparse after that.
Never too late to, or never too early in this case, to spread yourself out. Saw some guys at the opening lap drop towards the back, saw them near the double yellow line. If you're on the inside, that is your best friend in the world right there, because no one can go below you. If they do, they get a penalty for it.
Oh, absolutely, and definitely want to make sure you don't go below there, but as you mentioned, we have seen some guys already start to drift on further back. Trying to take a look further back down the field, trying to see if we can get a good camera. You can see a lot of guys further back. This is around 30th place, looking at the 43 of Matthew Bell. In the middle is Pat Chris Seidenfein, Forrest Smith, and a whole bunch of others. Cameron Hearn, some bigger names back there. Shane Terrian, my pick, not doing too hot at the moment. Second to last, 42nd in the 38 car, but some may argue, don't need to be up there that early on. Spriding out here in the back.
No, you do not need to be at the front at all, and I can imagine that because of these Xfinity cars, they're probably the hardest car to push in. I would say you barely tap someone in the left rear, right rear. It's going to be hard to save it. I said that last night, but it's especially hard in these Xfinity cars. So we didn't really see that many people drop completely back last night, but seeing a lot more of it tonight for sure.
Well, in the meantime, Travis Beckner's taking control of the lead. He can go up and block that outside if he wants to, but the run that Ackley is getting, he's not going to be able to do so. He's got 17 of Jordan Martin pushing him, and that's something you're going to see a lot throughout the night. And still looking through the Twitch comment, Jacob Bell was about 2 seconds too late for making his pick of over or under the winning car number of 29.5, but he says under. They're coming to complete lap 4.
Roaring through the tri-oval here, 2x2, still not a whole bunch of change in that order, and I think that's not too surprising. A lot less chaotic than what we saw on Sunday with the Area 500, and obviously, Connor, you driving in the Area 500. Why are we seeing, or I guess, is this just the way the drivers are driving, or is it the way the cars are handling that we're seeing these guys not really be as aggressive early on?
I didn't race on Sunday. I raced on Monday.
Sorry, Monday.
Maybe I raced something on Sunday, but it wasn't the Area 500. But I think it's more the cars. The Cup cars, you get such big runs and you get so packed.
Whoa,
apron.
Is that Phipps?
Phipps. I do not know if it's Phipps or Phipps. I apologize if we're wrong. I'm gonna go with Phipps, but he hit the apron.
It's Phipps.
It is Phipps, all right. He got on the apron, but he was able to collect it. That's going to kill the inside line. Ackley and Martin are going to be clear, but Cup cars, you get such big runs, and stack-ups are so big. I don't think... Oh, Fambro just doored Beckner. That was extremely close, my goodness. Trying to get a word in, I can't. This Beckner's loose. But the Cup cars get such big runs. It makes checkups so bad, and it makes you have to kind of drive crazy if you want to be at the front. That's just a product of how the cars drive. Xfinity cars and trucks, you're a bit more compact, more even lines, and it's not that hard. It is a little hard to push, but you don't get huge runs. So I think that's why these races are maybe a little bit more calm.
Yeah, well, they're a little bit calm. They're starting to get more intense now, and we're on lap 6, but the first yellow to come out for the Area 500 was on lap 5, so already these guys are doing a good job at keeping it clean, although they are still, you know, a little antsy at getting things going. You saw Fambro there a couple laps ago, door banging the 27. He's now leading that outside line with help from, I believe that's Justin Anasogok. Yes, it is, the driver of the 88 car who won on Tuesday night.
Doing pretty good at the moment, pretty much continuing where he started. A little bit, just up a few spots. One driver was noting he's moved up quite a few spots to find where he is gone on the scoring. There he is. Andrew Santo, I believe is how you say that, in the number 10 machine. That bright, colorful yellow and pink car. He's been making some solid progress. Started dead last and 43rd, has driven up his way to 24th place.
You know what? I believe that is, if we could zoom in on that, I think that's the old Darkon paint scheme, the old Manitel one.
It's very similar.
Let's see how he turns around in turn number 1, get a better view of that car.
Reminds me of Hubba Bubba Bubble.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. I'm glad you also thought the same.
Oh, yeah.
It both works, but yeah, even though a lot of people drop back, that's still impressive to get essentially through half the field in 6 or 7 laps, so really good progress so far. Don't know how much more he'll be able to do as Fambro gets a little bit of an edge of a lead into 3. Brad Slaughter Jr.'s dropped all the way back here. He's almost at the very back of the line.
He wants no part of this, and I don't blame him one bit.
Him.
Still too early. We're not even double digits on lap time yet.
Whoa! 14-man traffic and spinning through the infield.
He's going to mow the grass.
Ackley's going for a wild ride. And it's going to be a big wreck coming off the tri-oval down on the apron.
Caution
We're
yet.
not going to see a caution because they are out of the way, according to iRacing, and we somehow maintain green flag conditions. That was an amazing turn of events there.
I don't know what happened on the track. Senesac went around completely unrelated. We'll see what happened to Rob Ackley. A push on the right rear. We're talking about that in the Fambro. He was able to at least keep it straight, but couldn't keep it back on track. Something happened with Bryce Senesac above, maybe because of a checkup, because they were scared.
It was a checkup. Yeah, they were still sideways on the front stretch in the tri-oval. You'll see it here with Fambro in the 18. He was still sideways. And it's just a checkup all the way on that outside line.
Caught us in the back in the 50, and then they all kind of piled up. Everyone was trying to figure out some sort of way to go. You see so many drivers there just diving to the apron. And look at all these guys fanned out. Looks like they're running the Daytona 24 that they're coming out of the tri-oval.
Oh, another hit there.
Oh, and the 96 and the 75. So absolute chaos at Daytona, and we are still green, but completely separated in some parts of the field.
Very separate, I'd say. It was Chuck Sweeting who got the last hit of it. Fambro's able to save it. He actually doesn't have damage, but that stack up caused a lot of damage, even a lot of damage to the guys that are in this lead pack. Andrew Phipps, Tom Bourne, Nick Silver's front end completely destroyed. And this pack, all of a sudden, back to Chambliss, Ed Robertson, Casey Lakatos at the very back of it. Only about 19 cars after all that still in this lead pack.
Yeah, in the midst of all that, Fambro was sideways across the finish line leading that lap when all that chaos was taking place. But yeah, now we've got a whole new board here. It's like shuffleboard. Everyone gets shuffled around, and now we got Weishart as the pusher for the 18 of Fambro, and Jordan Martin now somehow finds himself as the leader.
Yeah, I was going to say, after the smoke cleared, somehow snuck his way. I didn't really think he was that high up, but I mean, he started in 4th, so he was up there just kind of waiting in the wings. Saw the opportunity. You see massive damage to the back of the 27 after all that was done. Same thing with the 25 of Phipps, as you mentioned. Damage to his star car. So I think a lot of guys cannot wait for a caution to come out and have a chance of getting some damage fixed. And also David Weishart, too, snuck his way up second in the top lane after starting in 10th. Looking like he's a little bit hungry.
I would say so, but also after that, I probably wouldn't want to go anywhere anymore. I think I'm fine being at the back because they pretty much wrecked at the front. That's what caused the incident. That was absolutely insane. I still can't believe that's not a yellow. Once again, worked out for Andrew Santo, though. He's able to stay in this lead pack, so 43rd to 18th in 12 laps is pretty good, as even him at the back is having the lift because of a checking up happening, as that top line gets almost clear, but not quite, really loose on the back bumper of the 17 there.
Are we surprised to be seeing that? Guys getting loose? Usually these cars are, I would say, relatively stable, but is it a bit of a surprise to start seeing this?
I don't think so. I've seen this with the Xfinity cars. Pushing can be a little bit difficult because the rear ends are very squarely, not much downforce on the rear of these things, so it proves to be very difficult bumping, especially entry and exit.
I was going to say, in the midst of that chaos as well with Santo, he actually got a piece of that wreck as he went below the double yellow line to try to avoid Ackley, and Ackley ended up remerging into Santo, but somehow Santo didn't spin out, and yeah, he's just keeping his foot in it, and well, I believe that is that Ackley on pit road? Yes, it is.
Oh, he was destroyed because of that, so that's not surprising. It's probably going to be race ending. It was that bad.
Here comes Field racing on by. They're going to put him not. He's already one lap down. He'll be put down a second lap now as they race on by, and we're already on lap 13. Feels like we've done a lot more after all the chaos that happened, that near caution. But Field is very separated at the moment and take a chance to look a little further back. So this is the lead pack running, and then the next group, I believe, is being led by Matthew Bell in the 43. Got Matthew Crockett behind in the 4-4 Smith, and Paul Swerven-Irvin in this group here.
I'm still worried about this top lane. Fambro is getting so sideways off the front bumper of David Weishart, who's pushing him. The 18 has some left rear damage from that definitely isn't helping in any sort of way.
Yep, now you're looking at the bumper of Fambro as he continues to try and nose ahead of Jordan Martin, but to no avail, as he'll get a run here down the turn or coming out of the turn 2 and down the back stretch.
Try to read what's on David Weishart's helmet there. Something what you've been missing.
I can't tell.
Either driver cam. I don't have my driver cam on tonight.
How do you have a driver cam? I'm trying to see that from the bumper of Fambro, trying to read through the windshield of the 33. But that just kind of shows you how close they are that you can even try to attempt to read what's on the helmet of the driver in behind.
Yes, definitely. That's how close you have to be. Bump drafting, that's how it goes sometimes. That's why the 18's been squirrely a few times, as we're starting to... still 19 cars in this lead pack, and we're close to coming up on lap traffic. Some somewhat total cars not too far in front of the lead pack. Chuck Sweeting, Jeremy Little, Jacob Hudson are not too far away from being lapped.
I would say they're within, I believe, that length. I'd say about 5 seconds or so.
Say 8 seconds.
8 seconds. Yeah, it was 35, 36 the last time I looked at it, but yeah, it's now looking at about 6, 7, 8 seconds around that time, and I have this listed under here, the moving chicane, aka lap cars, because Monday we saw how much of a concern that was down the straightaways. Imagine how it's going to be if they catch them in the middle of a turn.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I'll be curious to see if these guys will like to stay low and let the field go high, or if they'll go high on the field pass unlock. We saw a lot of times a lot of the guys being more selfish, just sticking on the bottom lane and the field having to snake their way on through. Because typically the pack prefers to be more to the left-hand side of the track, closer to the yellow line. See them continuing to snake their way on down the straightaway here. Not a whole lot of changes here. Everyone's happy at the moment. Although I'm sure a lot of more drivers would be happy if they didn't have damage that they have to deal with. And that's another thing, too. If you're a driver, especially with rear-end damage, is that a concern to you, being pushed from behind?
Rear-end damage is somewhat concerning because everyone's going to try to look at that if they're behind you. Like, oh, he's damaged. I don't want to push him. But really, rear-end damage isn't going to hurt you too much. It's going to make it a little more difficult to push, but your speed shouldn't be too much affected. It's the front-end damage and front fender damage, that gets a little worrying and really hurts your speed. So that's what I would be more concerned about.
There's the run you see on the outside from Fambro and Weishart. And again, Fambro racing for David Weishart Racing. And that's the boss man pushing the number 18 down the back stretch. Can't quite come down to shut the door on Jordan Martin, but see Jordan there, the number 17 car. He's got really good speed and a new entry for Fizikis Motorsports, him and Ed Robertson, the 64 for the Pro Series. So we're going to have to keep an eye on those two as the season progresses. And here they go, moving around the lap cars.
Yep, lap cars stay down low, and the pack decides to go high. And it looks like everyone will get through there in one piece, which is what you want to see. You don't want to see too many wrecked race cars here, although I'm sure everyone pretty much outside of this lead pack would love for a caution to come out, reset everything, put everyone back together again, especially that second pack. I'm not seeing any of the packs really catching back up to the leader, so they are losing time.
Yeah, they are losing time. The lead pack was in the 40s, somewhat the mid to high 47-second bracket. The second line was close, but not quite there. They're switching the pusher out, which is a strategy that is usually the best for when you're in a somewhat smaller line. Garrett Grant was pushing. Now Matthew Bell will push Steve Durham, so they're just swapping out, trying to make something happen. Not the same, really, for the third pack, led by Brad Slaughter Jr. They're racing a little bit here, 27th on back.
Kind of surprised they're racing at it. So these guys, this second pack is running about half a second off the pace. Brad Slaughter, that last time through, this group ran an entire second off the pace. So that just shows you how much time they're losing. That's going to add up a lot, considering we got still 75 laps to go.
Yeah, 75 to go this time by, and they're showing. They're still kind of weaving down the front and back straights through the tri-oval, but a lot more calm with only 19 cars in this pack. And as outside lane starts to lose a little bit of its mustard there, Fambro getting a run back as I say that though, but Jordan D. Martin solidly in control.
In control indeed. Has a breakaway there, so if they get a run on the outside, he can go up if he wants to. Don't believe he will though, just going to keep her tucked on the bottom because that outside line, as you see from high above, still getting the massive run down the straightaways. It's just the turns where the inside line really shows their stuff.
27, they're getting a bit aggressive with the 17 of Martin. Almost thought, I'm not sure that was the 17 trying to go up to side draft and block, or the 27 got him a little bit loose there on the straightaway. But one thing we've seen a lot of is a lot of the wrecks not even occurring in the corners, where you would think a lot of the wrecks would occur. A lot of them have been the straightaway, especially around the tri-oval.
Tri-oval's a tricky place sometimes, and you have to hold an absolute perfect wheel next to a double yellow or right next to the driver on your inside to push properly. If someone's not holding a line absolutely perfect and you go to bump them, exactly what happened with Rob Ackley is going to happen to you. So it's a fine art bump drafting at Daytona and Talladega, no doubt.
You know, all it takes is one bad bump and catastrophe could happen. And somehow we avoided a large catastrophe.
I don't know. It's still pretty decently sized catastrophe, I would say.
Well, it spread everybody out, but it could have been way worse. He could have just overcorrected right in front of the rest of the pack and nowhere for anyone else to go unless you wanted to mow some grass like Packer did. But riding here in car with Greg Mitchell, he was one of the open drivers to make it in the field. He's running a couple spots outside that top 10, holding a steady wheel on that outside line for the most part, and right next to him, or maybe a car behind, is Mason Kane in the 31. I got to give props to him because he was a little bit stressed coming into the race tonight. So last night he went over and had a little fun with the karaoke machine here, and it's kind of just calmed him down, eased his mind because he's really not used to running a full season. He's only made 4 Pro Series starts across his tenure here in the area, and just a little bit overwhelmed, so he decided to head over and play on the jukebox. And boy, he knows how to sing a tune, I'll tell you what. So he's calm, cool, collected in tonight's race so far.
But the way things are going, he might have a chance to sing a few tunes here. It's been very calm ever since about 15 laps ago, and we saw that near wreck. Pretty much was a wreck off the tri-oval involving the 14. Other than that, it's been smooth sailing for the guys up here. Not a whole lot of changes. In fact, I think that really the lanes haven't really even changed that much since that occurred. Everyone's kind of riding it out here until first set of green flag pit stops, which, considering how much the pack is separated now with only 19 guys in this lead pack, I think the odds of a caution have gone down dramatically.
I would say so, but you always got to watch out for pit road. Saw a few incidents on Tuesday night. Not sure if we really had any on Monday night, but it's definitely going to be a possibility. You get such a big pack coming into pit road all at once, it's usually guaranteed there's going to be some beating and banging on pit road. A little bit of a smaller pack than we saw 2 nights ago, but still got to be wary of who you're coming in with, where your stall is, and all that. Got to be aware when that happens. Oh, wow. That's, I don't know if that's side draft or Weishart pushing extremely hard, but that was pretty close.
I like to say unintentional side draft.
I was going to say a lot of intentional side draft and probably a lot of code browns from a lot of guys in behind this that saw that. And so what's the game plan here? What you say for these guys? Do you want to even try to be aggressive here? Because I would argue if you're in this top 19 pack, your odds of winning have gone significantly up. So do you want to try to risk ruining that for a chance, gaining a few positions, especially at lap 26? Or do you want to just kind of ride this out as much as possible?
I think at this point in the run, you're riding it out to the next pit stop. We saw it's going to see a similar strategy of what we saw on Tuesday. You're going to split it somewhat evenly thirds. Can't really split it evenly tonight, but somewhere in the lap 30, 35, 36 range, somewhere in the lap 30 to 36 window is when you're probably going to want to pit with a pack or at least 2 or 3 other drivers. I think we're going to see that once again tonight. And these next 10 laps or so, it's all going to be about the drivers on the top. Weishart really tight out of turn 4. Yes, he is going to the back. I think he got too high on the temps, but it's going to be about these guys on the top in the next 10 laps trying to get to the bottom. And I think that might be a play of what these two are doing, making sure they're together for pit stops and going to the back to make sure of that, as Greg Mitchell found his way in naturally.
Now we're going to see a new leader on the outside. That's Tom Bourne in the 16. Him and Justin Munsell in the 6 are going to assume control as the outside line mostly disintegrated after Weishart and Farnborough decided to drop towards the rear. But they're still keeping it tough, just those 2 cars on the outside. Might have a third car there lined up, but now they're making do with what they have.
Well, 16 there for a second, but yeah, only a few cars up on that top lane. Curious if we're going to see anyone try to go to the front. Honestly, if I'm the guys near the back, I would just say let's get in line and ride this out a little bit. Play things calm, cool, and relaxed, because there isn't much point racing at this point in time. Some guys may argue they want to lead a lap, especially if you're a driver, because there are really 2 groups of drivers, guys that are planning on running out the entire season, guys that are doing a few races for fun here and there. So if you're those guys that are in the season-long championship fight, this is a great chance to pick up some bonus points here for leading a lap.
And that's probably what Tom Bourne's trying to do, really loose off the front bumper of Munsell, as they're going to drop back after the 6 had to lift a little bit. But I think you're definitely right. We're so close to pit stops, you're really just trying to get to the bottom and be ready to make your entrance, whether you're low or high. You got to be on the apron for that. That's a pretty universal rule in NASCAR and in racing here in general. Do not pit from the outside line, please.
I would hope not. If anyone tries to do that, that'd be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I'll actually take this chance, take the chance to look back at that second pack, because some interesting stuff is happening right on the entry here to turn 1. So there's that second group, and there's now a third group that's kind of merged from a bunch of smaller groups. So it looks like that second pack has basically become a giant amalgamation of everyone that has lost the leading pack. So it's still led by pretty much the same group of drivers we were looking at before. In fact, actually, there's some of the drivers that we saw go a lap down. They've appeared in the middle of this group. And then there's this third group that seems to be catching back up to them, and they're led by Brad Slaughter Jr. in the number 9 machine up in front.
Yeah, Cochran leading the second line, ran a 48.1 the last time by. And then Brad Slaughter Jr., who's been leading the third line ever since, he gained about 2/10 last time by, so about maybe 3 seconds away from being in draft. And if those 2 lines can get formed up, I think it'll work out a little bit better for them, as they gained maybe 7/10 there. So we'll see if they get there before pit stops. So in case Lakatos wants to make a move to the front, he's got no help, as that top line is not doing as well, but still hanging tough even with Tom Board's damage.
Coming by to complete lap 30 in tonight's...
Jordan Martin's in. A few others. Greg Mitchell. Trying to see who else is there. Weishart.
Whoa!
Ed Robertson.
That was...
64
Robertson
to
and
33 of Weishart wreck. Wow, that was a sloppy pit road for a lot of drivers there. Let's take a look at your SimRap market replay for that. What on earth happened there? It looks like someone spilled oil over the apron. Everyone was locking up.
I don't know who made it on. The first driver to make it and didn't even make it. Ed Robertson came out of nowhere. It's like
that was Jordan Martin up ahead that spun out as well. But
yeah, he was the first one on, and he missed it there. Wow. Let's see what happened from this view. Yeah, Jordan Martin's the first one to pit. He didn't make it. As look at loose there, and looking at Robertson, the same thing. Weishart killed the inside safer barrier.
James Scioli narrowly sneaking by that.
I don't think he made it. We got more pit stops now. Andrew Phipps, Nick Silver, Chris Rabel, Brian Chambliss. They come in as well.
Yeah,
the second and third lines have become one big line in all this.
I was gonna say, it looks like they came down without any incident. Although I think a few guys might have just slid through the stall 29 and the 19. Oh, Rabel, big mistake for him. So he's gonna cost him a lot of time. This is something I mentioned. We mentioned it just briefly because it's something drivers always forget when you come to Daytona. Is practicing green flag pit stops because, like I said, you can win a race or you could definitely lose a race. And we've already seen a lot of guys end up taking themselves out of the entire running from a poor pit stop. Here comes the next group of drivers on down.
Beckner, Hartz, Gak Jones, Santo, Mason Kane. Looks like all clean there. Not a big amount of drivers in this one. Jacob Hudson coming out of his stall. He waits for them to go. It's all about getting into your stall at this point. Doesn't leave too many more drivers on track after that.
Whoa, hello. This is absolute chaos. You want a caution. Here's your best chance of looking at it. We're going 3, almost 4 wide heading off into turn 1.
They're trying to get by David Weishart, who's pretty destroyed. Him and Ed Robertson have linked up, and they're trying to just stay out of the way. Looks like everyone might get through cleanly here, but we're not quite out of the woods just yet. Driver on the apron almost. That's James Coey. Still trying to make sure everyone comes in. The leaders are Tom Bourne, Justin Munsell. They come in now.
Here they come in now. Casey Lakatos, who decided to stay on another lap with them. I think was expecting more people to stay out. He's come on down for his pit stops. That's going to be leaving the second group out here. And I'm sure these guys are going to probably run the tank out. I think they're just going to try to spend as much time here just making as much time up on the leaders as possible, especially now that they're separated.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty smart of them to do here. As Ross Sutter Jr. is taking control as Shane Abbey just got forced out. He goes to the outside line. They can't go too much longer, really. Maybe only 4, 5, 6 more laps at most. So can't go too long here as Munsell, Bourne, Lakatos just come out of pit road. So they should be picked up by Jordan D. Martin and they're back.
Here's Justin Munsell.
Probably look at.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd probably look at some of the guys from the main pack coming down to pit this time. Either that or definitely next time. I can't see them going any longer than that.
Here comes what was the leading pack coming off of pit lane. What's left of them here is that group forming, though, led by James Scioli. So they're coming out of turn 2 now. The leaders, who are currently leaders, they're still going strong. No sign of pitting just yet.
The soon-to-be, I think, leader would be James Scioli. Actually, no, Scioli. No, yes, he would probably assume the leader, at least be in the lead pack, as he gets by Lakatos, who might not hang on to this pack.
Yeah,
they still got work to do to get to Bourne and Munsell, though.
Yeah, Munsell will theoretically assume the lead here. He's getting a great push by the 16 to Tom Bourne. Those two working together, minimizing damage. This pack is definitely going to catch them, but they should be able to hold on to the lead of this group. Again, the eyes are going to be on this big pack of cars. I thought I saw some guys thinking of pitting, and they're going to continue out yet another lap.
Definitely going to stretch the tank at this point. They're running times that the lead pack before pit stops were, so it makes perfect sense to run this like it is now and just run the line. It looks like that line, that pit, Scioli, I think, is going to let them stay in front. Bourne and Munsell will maintain the lead.
Wouldn't be a bad bet. Save some fuel while doing so. I have to imagine as they're working on another lap car. I'm actually going to move out of the way. I believe that's Jacob Hudson,
yep.
96.
Already at least 1 down. I think he's more. He's
2.
2, and this will be 3. Does this pack come down this time by? Doesn't look like it.
Off the turn 4, they continue onwards. They can go close to 40. I wouldn't say quite exactly 40. I'd be surprised if they do reach lap 40, but they're basically starting to run on fumes at this point. So at some point they're going to come on down. The thing is the more and more laps go on by, that means more and more cars are going to have to come in on the same lap. So we could see a bunch of these cars come down the pit lane at the same time. And if they aren't coordinated, and let's face it, whoa, see the one car.
As soon as you say that, they get squirrely.
Steve Durham in the one going for a bit of a wild ride, bouncing off the yellow line. We could see a potential chaos down in pit lane, although as I said, as we were talking about it just now, almost saw some chaos before they even made it to the pit lane.
You got to make it to pit entry first before you can pit. Lap 37, no one in this time. This is, I would say it's probably a play just to take the least amount of fuel possible on the final green flag stop. That's if we get there. You'll be able to take less fuel and maybe make up some time on track while doing it. So this could be the play for these guys.
Here's the thing, though. Again, the group that is going to cycle out to be the leaders once this is all said and done. Just some unsold. These guys are actually lapping a little bit quicker now, especially because they got in single file. I think the big advantage that second group had is they were double file for the longest time. Now they're single file. They're going to be putting in faster laps. So they're going to have to, I guess, make an audible or just kind of hope something happens in their favor. Because at the moment, the big struggle for them is if this race goes green all the way to the end, which is more, I would say, is definitely possible. Not a certainty, definitely possible. They're going to run out of chances to try to chase them down.
You're definitely going to run out of chances. This is kind of their play here, though. All these drivers are pretty much out of that pack, so running long and trying to put down the fastest lap times possible is their play to maybe get back in it. And after some of the chaos from some of the guys in the lead pack, I don't blame them for trying this. A few drivers from pit stops did lose that pack, that pit. Colin Fambro, Andrew Santo, Justin Anasoga, Chris Rabel are in a 4-car line as they're swapping Santo out because he was getting too hot on temps. Those 4 are trying to mount the charge, but they're losing a little bit.
I was saying, I gotta wonder if the lap times are going to make any sort of difference between Slaughter and Justin Munsell, because they've gone down almost a second in the last 3 to 4 laps, so it's definitely going to play an effect there for when these guys who do have to pit come out, because they're going to be probably way off the pace and they're not going to have enough time to gather up enough momentum to get back to the main pack.
All right, these guys are really pushing the fuel limit. We're on lap 40 here. Not a single one. I don't think we've seen anyone from this entire group come down pit lane yet. They've all stayed out here this entire time. And they've got to come in the next lap or two. I know we keep saying it, but I think for real this time, they're definitely going to have to come in the next lap or two. Because we've been green this entire way. We've yet to see a caution this entire event. So far, we're coming up on halfway. These guys are going to have to come down pit lane. And I think what they're hoping for, and I don't think it's going to be possible, I think they're hoping for is maybe doing one stop to the end?
No chance. They're at lap 40 right now. There's no way that's going to
never mind. I'm doing my math completely wrong. I think if it were 85 laps, it would be a possibility, but not 95 laps. I can't do math. This is why I'm in the booth, not on the pit box.
It's definitely a play to get the 85, but not to make it to the end. It's really a play just to take a splash and go at the end, and that's if we go all the way to that point of the race without a green flag stop, as Brad Slaughter Jr. has called it in. As he starts blinking, he's called in, he's pitting this time. I was about to say 42 is kind of the limit. I think this is going to bring in a lot.
I was going to say, how many guys are going to see? Because I think it's going to be a lot, Hunter.
It's got to be everyone, but sorry about that, Hunter, but if Slaughter's coming in, the guys behind him should be able to go a little bit longer.
Should be most people coming in.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah, it's everyone. Oh, look out. This is going to get tight.
We might have another wreck.
Watch it, Cameron Hearn. Oh, who's sliding there? That's Swerving Urban, of course, I think.
Oh, and everyone's breaking in, and
someone missed their pit block.
Shane Carrion.
Oh my goodness. And there's more.
Coey's trying to search for it. Alverson's they're trying to look for their stalls, a few of these guys.
Yeah.
Alex Weber, I think, just blew through. He missed his.
Whoever had that first pit box, they missed it by about 5 or 6 boxes.
Might have been her. No, not
Garrett
her.
Grant?
That was Garrett Grant.
No, it was Hearn. I'm talking about the first one getting on. Like the first one getting on the pit road. He was about 5, 6 boxes in front of his.
Wow, these guys lost. Well, they were already behind, so they didn't lose a lot of time, but definitely did not get back to the lead pack.
And here are what should be the leaders coming out of turn 2. They're still yet to get it because they got John Furness, Alex Weaver, and
on the apron. There's a wreck on the apron. Jeremy Little, Cameron Hearn, they're wrecking Matthew Bell, Seidenfaden. This might bring out a yellow, and it has. They wrecked off of pit road.
Well, that was interesting. Let's take a look at that. I was trying to find where the wreck happened.
How did this even happen?
I don't even know.
13's going to hit the transition from the apron to the banking, the 13.
Oh, man, you can't do that.
That is a big mistake to make. Cannot happen. That was, I think I wrongly said the 13. I think it was.
He's fighting with the 4. They get
so. It was Jeremy
Everything's
Little.
okay by the time they hit the banking and.
It was a 13.
Yeah, Shane Abbey.
There's already.
Yeah. There was. I was thinking that wasn't the only thing. Separate up ahead as well. Seidenfaden got the worst of it.
This is what happens when you wait too long to pit and you're trying to. You already see the leaders coming by and they just fly by like there's no tomorrow. So you're trying your hardest just to get caught up to speed.
Shane Abbey.
And this is the direct result of what happened. You see Abbey, you see the 13, you see the 45. It's just unfortunate.
And the 21 slid as well, Matt Alverson. 3 separate slides, completely separate. And you got to wonder, that's not, I don't know if that's trying to hustle it only, but hustling it on maybe hot tires, because I don't think any of those guys really changed 4 tires, let alone 2.
Well, that's going to bring out the first caution of the event, and we're going to see these guys trickle back down onto pit lane. Are we surprised by this or not surprised by this?
Nah, I'm not surprised. You might as well. There's no reason not to. Might as well take tires while you can. And you should be able to go to about 10 to go, around 10 to go with the fuel you're about to put in.
See, pit lane's a very busy place with everyone coming. No!
Oh! It crashed again! Bell and Hearn came together.
Where?
At the very beginning of pit road, Hearn was turning in, I think, and the 43 slammed him.
Man, pit road has been a treacherous place this race. Let me
Under
tell
yellow,
you guys.
though. Under yellow. Here's a Simrap Market replay. And Hearn's waiting for. We'll see it here.
Oops, sorry, Ann. Cut to the wipe as soon
Hearn
as
is slow, trying to. Hearn's slowing down just to try. Yeah, just to try and get into his pit box. And here comes Bell.
Just barrels in there.
Nearly hit that pit opening.
Yeah, he did almost hit the pit opening. I don't know who to really blame that on, though. It was Cameron Hearn. He has the very first stall. You got to be next to the inside wall there if you're coming in like that on your very first stall. Wow, I can't believe that.
Well, we're almost halfway through tonight's Florida State Builders 250 here for Season 4 of the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series, which coverage of that is brought to you by Area iRacing Twitch. Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. For only $5 a month, you can watch all area broadcasts commercial free, and you can also use new Area iRacing emotes down in the chat. You'll also be able to earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise and the Simrap Market replay, because we've seen that quite a bit tonight. Race fans, be sure to visit simrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack.
Indeed, haven't had actually too many chances to have a look at some Simrap Market replays, because they, other than some relatively, quote-unquote, relatively minor incidents, we haven't had a whole lot of things going. We've only had 1 caution this race so far. Let's take a look at, never mind, Cal remove that graphic. The new change in the graphics package, which I really like visually, although there's some stuff that Kyle's removed, I think, because he's working on it. Some stuff that I think is not there. But so far we've only had one caution so far, which is the caution we're under at the moment. 1 near caution, and then quite a few other smaller incidents have taken out a few drivers. That being said, we still have 41 drivers still driving around on the racetrack, 36 of which on the lead lap.
Yeah, first one off of pit road under yellow was James Scioli, and he's going to restart third. Brasletter Jr. James Cooey stayed out, which is going to be interesting, but it also makes sense. They literally just came down to pit road, so they're not too bad on fuel. Austin Gakjone He missed his stall under yellow, so he goes to the back. But what this does is put everyone back in one big pack. And like you said, Finian, 41 drivers still in this one. Ryan Dunkelberger, Rob Ackley are lone retirements.
And after everything is cycle on through, it's going to be Brad Slaughter, your leader, James Coey, James Scioli, Andrew Phipps, Brian Chambliss, your top 5, Travis Beckner, Justin Munsell, John Furness, Alex Weaver, Tom Bourne, your top 10. The entire order has been shuffled up like a deck of cards. And we'll see how this deck of cards will play out. We're going to get the restart here. 50 laps to go here at Daytona. And we'll see what this second half of this race now is going to be looking like. Green flag back in the air, and we are racing again. Ooh, 24. Either struggling to get up to speed or getting very aggressive pushes from the 25 to Phipps.
A very low on speed. A little bit of front end damage. It wasn't hurting him before, but it definitely hurt him on the restart, as that sends him back maybe 4 or 5 rows. Scioli gets the second, then Beckner and Furness, Weaver. Rabel's going to get clear. Coey's not helping that top line.
No, he tried to get to the bottom immediately, couldn't quite do so. So him and Phipps are kind of stuck on the outside. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack is catching up and coming around on the bottom. And it's a 8-car breakaway, about to be an 8-car breakaway on that inside line. So if anyone inside the top 8 wants to move up, they can do so. We're already starting to see that. I believe that is Alex Weaver in the 62 making a move with Ryan Hartz as well. Now we see Furness moving up. Wouldn't be long until the 7 of Scioli comes up.
We're waiting to see if he wants to join the front up in that top lane now that they're finally getting some momentum up there after a poor start. The 24 dropping all the way back, Coey all the way back to around 11th place in lane. You see a lot of drivers actually manning the outside lane, but a couple drivers jumping up there trying to see if they can make up some positions and some time. But here comes the 28 Furness with a great run.
Maybe the biggest run of the night, hit about 193 in the turn number 3. We barely saw 191 last night in the trucks, and obviously we saw above 200 on Monday, but a huge aggressive push. It's Alex Weaver and Ryan Hartz. Really only those 3 pushing. Oh, very squarely.
That was very close. Oh my goodness.
Wow, Alex Weaver. Yeah, Weaver got out of shape there, was able to get it going back in the right direction and not into the side of Brazlar Jr. And at the end of the day, got John Furness to the race lead for the first time tonight.
Still not too many cars on that outside line. Really, it's only those 4. And now, as soon as I say that, we have a 5th, and that's Brad Slaughter. But he's going to get a massive push here from Weaver. Furness going to have to stay in it with Scioli. Not going to be enough, so Slaughter to the lead. He can come down if he wants to. He's actually going to go down now because kind of a questionable bump from the 62 of Weaver. But now the field is in the hands of Brad Slaughter.
And who picked Brad Slaughter? I was trying to remember which one of you guys picked.
It was Pete.
Hey, there you go.
I just don't have to pick. Well, we're just crossing halfway, so anything can happen still.
Not wrong there.
Yeah, we're just working past halfway in this race. I would say I don't really want to say rather lackluster first half. A lot of the first half after the field got separated early on, saw a lot of guys just kind of riding around, taking it easy. But now we got the field bunch back together again. I think we're going to see things get a lot more intense, especially as the laps start to wind down.
Whoa, Hartz got really sideways. Coey's up the track to react to that. It's my pick as well, but look at the left rear damage he has. That's the type of damage that will definitely hurt your ability to get pushed, and it'll hurt everyone's thoughts on you to push you, because that's very jacked up on the left rear as he gets to the bottom.
He's going to be leaning that outside line again as Weaver and Hartz duck down low. So now it's the 24 of Coey leading the way with 6 of Munsell, and right behind him is Tuesday night's truck winner Justin Sogak. However, we'll be right on board with Justin Munsell.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's 24. It seems like Noah wants to be the one pushing in his outside lane. He's really struggled ever since if he's stuck facing the clean air, it just does seem that that 24 car doesn't want to go. And I know Connor, you mentioned his nose damage. You can see a little bit of it. Let's see if as they come into the front straightaway here, we can get a better look at it. You can see there is some damage to that. Is that going to be affecting him that much?
A little bit for sure. It's a combination of that and just the Munsell's not getting on his bumper like everyone else is on that outside lane. Munsell's kind of refusing to give the bumper to the 24, so you can make it work without bump drafting. You can at least hold serve, but if you want to get to the front, you have to be on the bumper of the driver in front of you, and Muntz was not willing to do that as, who is that getting lapped very slowly?
43.
Matthew Bell?
43, yeah, he got destroyed on pit exit. That's going to be a tough day for the rest of this one for him.
Yeah, you can just tell how much off the pace he is as see the majority of the pack going by. Still have some cars down on the pit lane. Dunkelberger and Ackley are out, but first 3 cars are on a breakaway. Now first 2 because Scioli has jumped up to the outside. He's going to get a big push here from Coe in the 24. Going to set him up for turn 1.
Working the way on down. Scioli now trying to challenge on the outside lane with the 24 in tow. I think with the damage that 24 has, I think he's definitely going to be a person better in behind pushing. Of course, pushing is not really going to win either race, but it can definitely get you near the front, especially if you have a good car leading up there that's willing to stick with you. Whoa. So some guys nearly meet in the middle. Alex Weaver and I think Coe nearly coming together.
Scully was able to get to the front with the push from the 24. As you said, it could still get him good finish, but not doing well in the corners, especially as the reigning Pro Series champ tries to make a move to the front on Furness and Brad Sauter Jr. Furness made a move to the front, and then Sauter Jr. said, no, I want the lead, and Furness hasn't really wanted to fight back for it since then.
We were there, the 3rd car in line. Hart's running in 4th as well. Those 2 IRLC teammates, and their 3rd teammate, Matthew Bell, is mentioned off the pace after an early incident.
Whoa.
Well, most recent incident.
Oh, look out.
Weaver getting squirrely
again.
Yeah, so Weaver gets squirrely lapping Seidenfeld, and Coe out of shape a little bit. Is that a 3rd line we're starting to see? I think it is. Someone's trying to make it work.
Cameron
Who
Hearn.
is it? Oh, what a surprise. Cameron Hearn trying to go 3 wide. Where have I seen that before?
I can't believe he's still on the lead lap.
He didn't get as much damage as we thought. He's
With how much
pretty good.
with how much carnage he's been involved in tonight, it's amazing how he's still on the lead lap, and he's the only one trying to make that 3rd line work.
He's the only one last night as well.
I don't know. He's going to need a partner to tango with. I think. I don't think being up there by yourself is going to work for too long. Wow, he gets very close to the wall. There is not a whole lot of room here at Daytona. There's just enough room for 3 cars. 4 if you really want to squeeze it, but Talladega it's a little bit more comfortable to work with. But tell it to Cameron Hearn, he doesn't care. He's just trying to get his way to the front. And it looks like he's found a partner to dance with. Bryce Senizak looking like he wants to join them up on that top lane.
Only takes, big block there. Fambro blocked the 67. His run. That's surprising to see this early, but he made sure to stop that run, and Senizak got back down.
Closing in on 40 to go. Still a bit too early to be doing these aggressive bumps and blocks that we're seeing, but 7 of Scioli still trying to get a big enough run on the outside of Slaughter. Not going to be enough that time by, but we still look at the 67 of Hearn trying to get up to the front as soon as possible, but really not going anywhere.
He's determined to make it work. See, Bryce Senizak decided to leave that. Just doesn't want to try to work with her, and then you see finally Cameron Hearn give up. I'm not even sure if he gained any positions in that exchange. Up, he's going to go again. And gets blocked by the 18 again.
Fambro not letting it happen here as they come up on a really slow car. Ed Robertson in the 64, very slow. 5-second difference between him and the lead pack. They'll have to take evasive action. Robertson really struggling, a lot of damage, going a 2nd lap down as everyone navigates safely. Definitely negates Cameron Hearn's 3 wide for the time being. They got very tight, him and Tom Bourne.
So Tom Bourne was a few inches from probably turning him around, Hunter.
Yeah, quite a few. Speaking of turnaround, it wouldn't surprise me if we see the 18 and the 67 continue to go at it and possibly turn each other around, because Hearn's trying to get around Fambro on that outside, but it's not working. I believe they're going around another lap car as we speak.
Jacob Hudson.
Yeah,
Yep,
this
there
time
he
on the
goes.
outside.
In the 96. A couple of stragglers going around the track. Whoa, 98
Wow.
in the back of that shot. You guys saw that? Jeffrey Wilson
Yeah.
getting wicked loose.
Tom Bourne did as well. Wow, that was pretty close. Another person who's looking loose. I'm pretty worried about James Coe. He's kind of struggling even down the back straightaway to hold that line. Still working well with Scioli. They're able to stay side by side for 4th or 5th, but that 24 is looking kind of squirrely as he needs to get some clean air on the nose.
Coe, a part of Darnell Racing, trying to get them a good finish to start out the season. For not only Coe himself, but on the team side of things, got Cochran, Irvin, and Forrest Smith as well, all trying to do the same. for that team. And interesting to point out, they're the only Pro Series team who didn't have a new driver or a name change or none of that. All 4 drivers stayed on the same exact team from a season ago. Only team to do that.
Taking a look at the back of James Scully, the Rick's Hot Sauce machine, and I guess probably have this car in view and doing well. Take a chance to talk about rickshotsauce.com. For race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee. How do you say that?
A Loxahatchee Classic,
There you
Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Those are the 4 hot sauces that are available at rickshotsauce.com. You can also follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. That's rickshotsauce.com. Yeah, it could be you. It's not a vote. You have to.
Cedric Hunter's leading. Cedric Hunter's leading. He's pretty solid. The pink car. Follow the pink car too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is really funny to see you of all people with a rookie stripe. It is genuinely hilarious considering how much you've accomplished. I've seen you accomplish in sim racing, and especially as a person in the Road to Pro ladder.
Maybe that's why no one pushed me last Monday. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Running to the front, Weishart dumps him. I was like, what the heck? I am going to the front with you, man. But
even Jake Nichols had to have a rookie stripe, even though he won accomplished so much. Yeah, he won with it. It's just a rookie stripe in the area series.
Sorry, Kui got way high.
Yeah, he's starting to get me a little anxious here in my seat as they're working on lap traffic again.
Worth noting, he did not pit. Him and Slaughter did not pit.
That was going to be what I was wondering.
Well,
if these guys came out of pit or not.
Well, no, they had just pitted and then the yellow came out, so I don't know if they took smart. Tires. It was smart for them to stay out. Oh, tires. So that might be a concern.
I don't know if they took them, but either way, they stayed out regardless. As they get back, we get by more lap traffic. That was Jeremy Little. Jeremy Little was one of them. Second one's David Weishart.
Yep.
He goes down second lap, very down on speed.
You can see that outside lane now is starting to die out quite a bit. James Kelly's struggling between, I think, dealing with a 24, who's now ditched himself down onto the bottom lane.
Just saw contact there right in the back. I believe that was with Jeremy Little, and the car to his outside. Not Greg Mitchell, the one in front of him. Were they Forrest Smith?
Yep, 81 of Forrest Smith. They just go flying by Chris Seidenbeid.
Yeah,
they were about door banging each other down the turn that last time by.
Yeah, Therian and Chambliss and Santo had a little bit of a coming together through 3 and 4 too because of a checkup. So a little bit there as well. As starting to see 2 drivers on the top trying to make it work. Scioli and Munsell, the only 2 trying to make it work at the front.
Everyone else has migrated towards the bottom as we've crossed lap 60 of tonight's Florida State Builders 250 in the newly named Florida State Builders Area Pro Series. And with the only 2 cars on the outside line, really, they're making it work for the first time tonight. Scioli's going to clear the 6, take the lead, and now he's going to leave Munsell out to drive.
Hey, you always hate this as a driver. Now he's just kind of stuck out there by himself. He's got Greg Mitchell, but go quite a bit further back, so he's going to try to catch up and help the 6. He's going to catch up at a high rate of speed here, so might give him a pretty violent bump coming out of turn 2.
He'll remember that. Munsell will remember that later on.
I don't blame Scully for doing it. I would have done the same thing in this situation because it's very unlikely Munsell would have been able to get clear without having engine trouble. But wow, look out! That's Phipps up the track. But I don't blame him for doing that. But yeah, that's something you got to remember. Munsell will remember it.
Whoa, hello.
Oh, pit stops.
Maybe that's why. Expecting this early. I guess guys is crossing the threshold here. They can make it to the end. Why not come on down? And some of the leaders come on down. James Scully, Brad Slaughter, and company coming to make potentially their final pit stop of the race.
Well, that's one way to enter on pit road. Enter your pit box if you're Scully.
It definitely will be. Hearn, Swan, Senesac, Scioli, Slaughter, Anna Silgok, and Colin Fambro, the drivers who come down this time. So only 7 cars, so less chaos with only a small pack. As long as they get packed together, it should make up time. Scioli gets out first, as we'll see who's next. I don't think we'll see too many others.
So this is the thing, right? Obviously, you have a chance now that the pit window's open. Come down and get some fuel. They're good to the end. Or do you want to try to stay out here, hope for a caution to kind of make? Do we have enough of a chance of a caution? Because I argue we would, because we still got, I think, 30 people almost in this entire pack.
I would say you do either or. You either pit right when your fuel window opens to take the least amount of fuel possible, or you stretch it all the way and then manually take the least amount of fuel possible instead of just filling up the entire tank when you can. That was a big move by Phipps in the 25 there, but I think I like going to about 10 to go and then taking a splash for these guys. I think that would be my decision, because you probably can get back into the lead pack with 10 to go, and also if the yellow comes out, you still have track position over the guys who did pit.
Well, whatever strategy you choose, you gotta stick with it. You can't just commit to it and then go, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it on my current strategy. I'll just pit now." We gotta make your bed and lie in it if you're gonna stretch it all the way, or if you're gonna come in ASAP like we saw the 7 Skyhola do.
Yeah, it looks like Bryce Senizak's going to be the odd one out here in this group. You see he's lost that pack, so he's going to be out of the running for now. Might have a chance to catch back up. He's right on the cusp. He's 0.5 of a second back, and here's the main pack chasing this group down and catching up on another lap car to be the 64 again. Another lap down.
Oh, look out! Look out! Oh man, Ryan Hart still almost slammed into him.
I got flashbacks to season 2, because that same exact scenario saw a massive wreck.
There we go.
Pit stop. Rabel leads some of them on. Who else is there?
25. Wow. Phipps Hubby surprised if he doesn't get a black flag. Looked like he came in there pretty hot.
Yes, he did. Rabel, Phipps, Silver, Chambliss, Alverson. The only 5 coming out this time, an even smaller line, as they should make it in cleanly. Rabel does make it stall this time.
Interesting to see where these guys get shot out of. Looking back at the leaders again now on the back straightaway. Curious to see how many more guys are coming down. The back of this pack is looking on suspiciously single file, so I think more guys are starting to think. Either that or they're trying to just get themselves out sorted.
The one thing that I didn't think about when thinking about strategies, I would stretch this long, because as long as the pack is big enough, you're going to be putting up times in the 47-second bracket. I suppose that Skyoli line is actually putting up decent times as well. In fact, a little bit faster than the lead pack, but we'll see how many times they can keep that up, as they'll also have to catch up to Rabel, Chambliss, and that 5-car team that just pit, which they should be able to. They should join together, and maybe it might go a little bit faster.
Have to catch him and pass him too at this rate if they do go green to the end, which I can't lie, I kind of thought this race was going to go caution-free until I saw the mishap on the apron coming up to speed. So I wouldn't rule out a late race yellow just yet, just to spice things up.
More pitters, Alex Weaver, and he's going to bring on a lot more. Ryan Hartz, Beckner is in. Gotta be clean. Beckner locks him up. It looks like everyone else is good. Michael Muhammad sideways. Everyone trying to find their stall, and another clean run that time.
Take a look at Michael Muhammad coming on down pit lane. It's not quite a few guys jumping on the brakes, slamming on the brakes in some cases, because I think they underestimated how much they slow down. Whoa, the 8. Oh, got a little hit actually. The 78 of Michael Muhammad got a hit from the 8.
If he's speeding after that, I would be a little ticked off.
Austin Gacone is the driver who gave him a little bit of help, potentially speeding on pit lane, and it looks like both of them are going to come out at the same time, so they are good to go. That being said, they are quite a bit behind the rest of the guys that came in.
Mason Payne. No, not again.
That ain't a 6-string.
Oh
that ain't
my
a 6-string.
gosh.
You can't hold it sideways like that.
Jack Joan almost just did it as well. That's a product of taking no tires. You got to be careful of that. My goodness, that was a good save, though.
This was how the first caution came out. They're getting up to speed too quick, and they hit that apron. It's like,
oh man!
Wow.
And here comes that second group of all the guys that have come down to pit lane, working their way on a round.
I'd say that's going to work out for him. He's going to be behind that. He's going to be behind the mess.
Yeah, I'd say so. And the only driver I've seen get a penalty so far is Andrew Phipps. He got a penalty. He was the first or second pack to come down, so that's going to undo his day most likely, as John Furness has assumed the race lead. No one pitting this time as the lead pack dwindles to 13 cars, 13 lead lap. Yes, 13 lead lap plus Jeremy Little.
Whoa, see, Weaver getting out of shape. Abby, I think maybe giving a bit too aggressive of a bump in the 84 behind, but here's that second group now. Andrew Santo leading, and here he comes, going to take the outside lane. Here comes the 98 of Jeffrey Wilson to mine. Chris Rabel and Brian Chambliss all catching up, and they're going to elect to take the outside lane to try to make a pass.
Oh, wow. Sideways Santo across the track over the bumper of the 98. This is going to get interesting. We'll see if this slows them down trying to go side by side, because we got to think this is the race for the win. This is going to be the race for the win between this pack. So you got to get racy, but you also don't want to lose too much to the drivers in the lead pack. Speaking of them, they're all pitting. Furness is spinning on the entry to pit road. Look out. He gets to the pit stalls, and everyone avoids him. That's going to kill his run.
No doubt about it. Take a look at the replay, see how this occurred.
See most of the field coming on down, and I think this came in way too hot. Locked it up.
Almost got it.
And yep.
He almost had it, but just barely got the right rear in the grass.
Yeah, we'll see how he tries to recover from this. Actually, he might have gotten a penalty sitting there quite a while,
Yeah.
so he's going to pick up a penalty. Greg Mitchell also sitting quite a bit on pit lane. I think he's also picked up a penalty. It's the last thing you want. And here comes the...
Oh, spin, wreck, crash into turn one. Who is that? Jeffrey Wilson, Chris Rabel came together. But no yellow, it's on the apron again.
Is this coming off of pit lane again? Oh, no, this is with the lead pack.
This had to be... Come through a trial again. Oh, Wilson, Zanto had a little bit of an issue, maybe.
Oh, my goodness.
A few drivers got damage in that.
What in the blue moon?
See what happened to get a better
Yeah,
look.
I want to try to see if we can get on board, trying to find where Chris Rabel is here. Found him.
Oh, we hit Ryan Hartz, and that was big, like neck code sort of. 98, 29. I think the 46 got damage as well. Nick Silver had the big hit there as well.
And we remain green through all the carnage and all the smoke as it clears. Here comes Matthew Cochran by himself. I think he had a lap car helping him, but pretty much virtually by himself coming down to pit lane. Here are the leaders coming to catch some of the other leaders. You see how disconnected that pack got with that incident. And immediately now here comes Alex Weaver trying to close out on that lead. And here comes the 84 Shane Abbey, Ryan Hart, Andrew Santu, James Scioli. So a whole mixture of cars from all different points that came down to pit lane. They both somewhat converging to the front of this pack, though still very much separated.
Look how mixed up this is going to get. Look out, Ed Robertson is in the middle of this. They're going to go 3 wide trying to pass a lap car. Robertson gets to the apron. Smart move to get around that. But this second pack might lose out to that lead line if they can't get this sorted. Not what you really want to be doing. He almost hit Matthew Cochran coming off the pit road. My goodness, as they go 3 wide again. It's getting wild. We got to get wild
now
here.
Look at 31 Mason Kane. We saw him drifting down on the apron. He's up here challenging for the lead. He got a great run. Look at the run that him and Brad Slaughter are getting as they work their way to the lead.
Yep, they're working together on that outside line. They're going to have the 7 of Scioli shortly coming up with him, and the 27 of Travis Beckner, Cameron Hearn. Hart's trying to jump up in there. Seems like everyone wants to go on the outside now, as Slaughter's trying to take advantage.
Slaughter trying to take advantage and will lead this lap. And he elects to stay up on that top lane, not come down with the 62. There's Greg Mitchell, I can see on the left-hand side of the screen that the leaders are catching, going to put a lap down. Slaughter still electing to stay on the top.
Santos starting to lose a little bit of that draft.
I think he should be fine, though. He's got Cameron Hearn, who's found his way in the lead pack. Only 9 cars in this lead pack, but that's going to change pretty soon. That second big line's forming, and it's led by Justin Munsell, and they are flying down the back straight.
And Shane Abbey, too. Shane Abbey's up here running in third, and he was mowing the grass down in the infield in turn 1 and 2. Just amazing recovery by him.
He didn't even know he was going to make the race tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, made it as an open car.
Man has an open car and has a solid shot of winning this race. Taking a look at Justin Munsell in that smaller second pack. They're catching in at a pretty decent rate here. They're running, wow, so they ran, last lap they ran 0.6 of a second faster than the leading group, so they're making good time. You can see visually how much time they're making here. I'm curious to see where they're going to go, where he's going to go with the momentum. Is he going to stick him behind?
Engine! Mason Kane's engine blew. He pushed too hard. The engine's gone on the 31.
Oh,
wow.
no.
That's something you don't see every day.
Yeah, you do not. That does not happen. You're usually aware of your attempts, but Mason Kane pushed it a little too much on the apron.
I'm getting nervous.
Don't get nervous.
He's got it. He's got it.
We've
once,
not
you
had
do it
good luck
again.
with the apron here today. Right on board.
That was brutal. Burley didn't make any mistakes all night long in his first race back in
You
here.
can feel it
after a
going,
while.
and then pull out a lane.
But at least very smart of him to get out of lane immediately and not cause a wreck. That's a shame, though. Got to be aware of those gauges. When they're blinking, that means back off a little bit. But we go back up to the lead pack. That puts Scioli in the lead of the outside line again. Breslau Jr. leads. Scioli is up there to the top now.
And Justin Munsell took that momentum and went to the top lane, Hunter. Now that he's gone up here, where do you go? Do you make that third lane?
No, don't even try to make a third lane unless there's like 10 to go or 5 to go. You just saw there the 67 of Hearn had a little wiggle in the middle of 3 and 4, right behind the 7 of Scioli. Still trying to get alongside the 9 of Slaughter. Him and Weaver have a 2-car breakaway.
Still racing their way through 1 and 2. There's a second group now trying to catch back up. It's Brian Chambliss, Paul Swervin Irvin, and the 21 Matt Alverson. Haven't talked about a lot. Whoa. It's
Mitchell gets out of line.
getting out of lane. He's a lap down. Haven't talked a whole lot about Matt Alverson. Started in 26. Has been as low as 43rd, as high as 14th. So he's been all around the order today so far.
A number of drivers who started at the back and made their way to the front. Alex Weaver started 35th. Shane Abbey 32nd. Cameron Hearn dead last 40th. Andrew Santo also dead last, but actually dead last 43rd. Last driver in, and he is up at the front battling for this one as we're nearing 15 laps to go.
Also got to give props to Ryan Swan there in the HyperX 20 on the outside, right behind the 6 of Munsell. He's had a quiet night. He's also been as low as 43rd, started 25th though, but inside the top 10, still with a shot to win at Daytona.
He's been all over the order today, as low as 43rd, as high as 3rd. Hasn't quite tasted the lead just yet. Rocketing by the 43rd. Whoa!
Man.
His car got wicked loose in the middle of the corner. That's something you do not want to hear, the tires screeching. On the
Yellow.
No.
Caution.
Oh my goodness. It's Durham on his lid.
I've seen fire.
How did this happen?
We've seen fire. We've seen
on
rain
his
this race. Let me tell you what. We've seen wrecks on the apron. Now we're seeing guys getting flipped on the lid. I'm kind of curious how this managed to occur.
That was not Durham, by the way. 81.
Poor Smith.
Oh, that's a
Whoa.
hardware thing.
Oh my
Wow,
goodness.
Wow, that was something like we saw in the truck race. Definitely the wheel kind of turned off or something like that.
Riding on board with Smith here. They're going to see the wheel. Let's go hard right. Actually. Whoa.
Oh,
Wow. No, I'm gonna be sick. But that was definitely the wheel turning off or something like that.
Is the wheel turning off, or maybe he lost? Maybe he's in VR
maybe
or
the
something
monitor.
and monitor. Yeah.
it was that dreadful Windows update.
Yeah, Paul Irvin said his screen froze, and I'll do it.
Well, it was looking like it might have been a relatively peaceful end to this race. I think we can throw that out the window now.
No, there's always going to be a late race yellow to get these guys mumble jumbled again.
But I'm sure they're glad it's only like a one-car incident and not the big one. As people faking on pit road shouldn't see anyone pit. This is when you need the track position now.
Really is.
Everyone
And looks like guys towards the back they're deciding, might as well come
Is
fix
pit
your
road
car.
even open?
Yeah, it's
I would
open.
imagine there's a lot, either that or a lot of people getting black flags right now.
Maybe that many people don't care about the black flag. It's just a lot of people still need to repair damage. That's how kind of
They can't
spread
black
out.
flag all of us if we all pit.
Oh, yes, they can. That's exactly what they can do. Is John Furness gets the lucky dog after his green flag penalty. That was why I was surprised Greg Mitchell jumped out of line, because he was battling the 28 for lucky dog. and they let the 28 by, and that lets the 28 get back on the lead lap.
Watching
the second caution of the night has come out. There's been a lot of chaos and very little yellow, so that was indeed second yellow of the night. The night's Florida State Builders 250 for the kickoff of Season 4 of the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series, and coverage is brought to you by shop.areairacing.com. Race fans, be sure to check out the all-new shop.areairacing.com for merchandise to represent your favorite drivers and teams. Shop from our brand new selection of champion t-shirts, jackets, hats, and more. Easier to shop, quicker to ship, better to wear. That's shop.areairacing.com.
Yep, and everything is coming to a head here. The laps winding down, guys. I think we're going to get a restart with, what, 14 laps to go? 13 laps to go?
About 14, I believe.
And so,
I'd say 14 as well. And I was going to say, just a little recap of the previous 3 races here from Season 1, 2, and 3. Season 1, we had a last lap pass in the tri-oval. Season 2, we had a photo finish with her nearly going down in the grass. And then last season, the race ended under caution. So a lot of different ways that this can go down, getting near the closing stages of this. Connor, where would you want to be on the racetrack right now?
Front 2 rows. Front 2, front 3 rows. I don't think it's going to be pretty hard to win it from anywhere other than these front 3 rows. Skyoli Slaughter are very strong. They should lead their lines to the end, I would assume. Cameron Hearn, he would be the one to go 3 wide, but he's in third, shouldn't need to do that. It's going to come down to who gets up to that third line first. You're talking about 10 to go. You might want to get up there. I might have wanted to get up there before even that yellow, because once those lanes clog up, you are not going to have a chance to win if you don't get up there to lead one of these 3 lines. So I think as soon as everyone gets up to speed on this restart, you're going to see drivers try to start that third line.
all right, guys, so we made picks earlier in the race. Are you planning on sticking with your pick, or do you want to pick someone else?
Yeah, I'm not going to cheat. I'm Ryan Hartz all the way. He's been pretty quiet today. He's got some left rear damage, but he's got some right rear as well, but he's been in the top 15 for a long while now. Just needs to get up to the front when it matters most here.
And my pick, Brad Slaughter, he's running up front. 1 win away from completing the trifecta of winning in every car here in Cup, Truck, and the Xfinity car. I'm going to come to the green with 14 to go, but man, this could be anyone's game. I mean, looking back in the Discord chat, so Jacob Bell did a random chat GPT thing. I don't know exactly what it is, but he threw all the names of the guys racing tonight in the random generator, and the winner of that was Andrew Santo. Keep an eye on him, third car on the inside line.
We'll see if the AI is going to be right. We'll see who's going to win here. 14 laps to go. We're back green here at Daytona with a great jump for James Skylie up near the lead, and it's going to allow Brad Slaughter to conveniently slot in behind him. Try to push that number 7 to the front on the top, 62 to 84. Trying to get hooked up together to see if they can make a run to the front with the 3 of Ryan Hartz in tow.
If Bob picks the winner and we can, I might just have to stop doing this, I would say.
Every broadcast will just be ChatGTP bots.
Yeah, you and Kyle don't need to do your job anymore. Just get the bots in here. Yeah, Hunter, you're out of a job too.
We're all out of it.
But the drivers aren't, which is the important part. Weaver loose on the top. Skyoli powering to the lead.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're looking pretty strong on the top there. They're struggling to get connected, it seems, between the 62 and the 84. That's allowed the bottom lane to get a little bit more momentum, and they're pushing forward. 67 of Cameron Hearn. He's boxed in, can't quite do anything just yet. 62 of Weaver still stuck on the top lane, and now Slaughter pulling out a lane.
Yeah, you're not going to be following. If you have a gap to get to your right, to your outside, you're taking it. You can't just ride for the rest of this one. Slaughter took it, and he knew he had to. He's going to take the lead out of 2, really sideways. Weaver trying to stay connected as the 67, Cameron Hearn, really shoving Skyoli now, trying to keep in line.
They're trying to boot scoot and boogie away so they can merge down on the bottom, but it's just tough bump in there all over that outside line, nearly 3 wide in the back. But Skyoli's still leading away with Hearn pushing. Santo trying to close in that gap, but Slaughter still trying to get a run on the outside with Weaver behind pushing.
And you can see they feel a lot tighter, a lot closer than they have been all night long because they know now the laps are winding down. You can't afford to give a gap to any of your competitors. You're going to have to, it's going to be pretty much all take. Whoa, things are on the wall. Matt Alverson touches the wall and entry turn one. He's going to keep it off, and we're going to continue green. But gap, there's not going to be a whole lot of gaps to take. If you do see one, you definitely have to take it. As you mentioned, ooh, do we see the 84 trying to look 3 wide?
Oh, Slaughter's
oh no,
Slaughter's
he's in
dumb.
the sucker hole. Oh,
It might not hurt.
Dick.
Might not hurt him too much. Oh my goodness, he almost got doored. Santo's struggling. He keeps hitting the apron, but Slaughter should get some help. Actually, Weaver's going to come back down. Oh, Slaughter's going to try to split it. That can't work. They made it work somehow, but now we got 3 lines. Alex Weaver's going to take that top line. Cameron Hearn got to the middle. He dumped Scioli. Now Xantho pushes Scioli, and out of all that, Alex Weaver led that lap on the 3rd line.
I don't know.
We were 3 wide for the lead, boys. We were 3 wide for that split second. Weaver's now controlling 3 lanes of traffic.
Oh, they're wrecking in the
back.
Oh, they saved it.
Oh my goodness, that was Garrett Grant. I don't know how he. Paul
Irvin went in the wall and somehow saved that. I don't know how they didn't wreck there, but we're not done yet. The pushing's getting big.
I was going to say, I want to take a replay of that, but I feel like we're going to see something happen in the front. We haven't really seen a whole lot of 3-wide racing so far tonight. We've seen some attempts at it, haven't really quite worked out, but now we're seeing some solid lines form, at least in the top. Now, it looks like they're kind of losing momentum now. They lost a 3rd car between the 84 and the 3. Trying to keep that hope alive there. Brad Slaughter leading in the middle. Cameron Hearn on the bottom after taking the opportunity through the chaos to sneak his way on through. How about the 88 Justin Asue also sneaking his way on through to now push Brad Slaughter in that middle lane.
This is exactly what Cameron Hearn wants to see. He is due for a Pro Series win. He's had so many chances in the past season, in Season 3, and couldn't get it done. But he's got the best opportunity anyone else can. Under 10 to go now, and he's got the lead in that outside line. There really isn't one to form, but Slaughter Jr. is trying to lead it with a push from the 88.
Saw Swan trying to make that 3rd lane go a little quicker. Almost jumped in front of Shane Abbey. As that outside line still trying to get something going. It's just Shane Abbey and Ryan Hartz there, but Brad Slaughter trying to get back alongside of Cameron Hearn
contact.
in that battle. Contact with Weaver, but the 9 still keeping it going with Tuesday night's truck winner Justin Silgach behind.
Hey, some beating, some banging here. Kind of surprised to see some beating and banging. It's not really typically the track you want to do it at, especially with the handling concerns we've seen all night long. Some drivers struggling with the handling more than others, either with the tires or just the way they're coming out of the corner, or just how tight these cars seem to be together, and with the aerodynamic grip being lost in some parts of the track. So I really don't think you want to start beating and banging here because you could cause the big one. That's the thing, guys. We haven't really seen a really big wreck. We might be due for one here with under 10 laps to go.
I think we're due for one. This is ingredients for a 25-car wreck. Oh my goodness. Hearn's someone into the wall back there, but he saved it. They're getting away with it for now. Weaver and Slaughter hit again, but Slaughter still has a run out of turn 4, as does that tandem on the top. They just need a few more cars to help Abbey and Hartz do.
And I see someone.
Chris Rabel's trying to get in.
Oh boy.
Look at how tight. Oh, there's a 3rd lane forming hard here.
Those 2 are making it work. They just need maybe one more car to help them push, and they can have an even bigger run, but they still have a big run down the backstretch.
Yeah, like I said, Chris Rabel's trying to be that 3rd car. Now there's another car right behind him.
Grant jumping up to the top lane. Bryce Senizek trying to sneak his way on through. That bottom lane actually starting to die out. It seems Cameron Hearn losing traction.
There he goes, Santo! Oh, he's trying to save it!
They're wrecking. There they go.
There they go!
Big wreck off of turn 4, and the caution will fly this time.
Somehow not a bigger wreck. That might still only been 4 or 5 cars. Brian Chambliss might have gotten the worst of it.
Ted is actually still driving in the right direction after that.
He might have saved it. That is unbelievable.
I mean, saved is not exactly the word I would use, but he could have gotten a lot worse than that. Let's take a look here. Heading off in turn 3. Door the 18 of Fambro got loose. The 6 of Justin Munsell actually managed to escape this. Oh, Tom Bourne getting into the 10, and then the 19 of Chambliss going to turn the back around. So it was actually, like you mentioned, only about 4 cars involved in that somehow. Everyone did a fantastic job avoiding that.
I think Chambliss got wrecked checking up for. Munsell actually didn't hit anything there, but I kind of saw this coming. That 10 of Santo, was really squirrely and not holding the bottom well. You see, he kind of missed the double yellow line, and that shot him up the track into Fambro. Look at the job Munsell does. Just did not hit the 10. And then here comes Tom Bourne. Tom Bourne flies by, and he's still got it. Oh, there's an inside wall there, but he does a great job.
somehow avoided disaster. I want to run on board Brian Chambliss because I know he got a decent lick at some point. We'll see here. He also got a decent look what happened up ahead. So this 10 spreading out. Everyone starting to check up here. Some bumps, some scrapes, and the 19 getting turned around.
And that was by Jacob Hudson, who is 3 laps down, so I can't imagine Chambliss is going to be happy about that.
Well, he didn't get hit in the process after getting spun around, so just a quick 720 for him. And I believe we might get the green flag with 4 laps to go, but we're still within our window of having another caution after we go back green and then running a green-white checker.
Coming down to the end of this thing, guys, it's the hand. You can argue. Actually, it's really not much to argue. The action is definitely picked up here. We saw a solid three lanes of cars, and they actually managed, for the most part, they managed to actually hold it pretty well without completely annihilating the entire field.
That was a big yellow for Hartz and Abbey. They were able to get the 3rd and 6th from being up there. It was not a good timed yellow for Cameron Hearn. That inside lane fell apart at the worst time. He's still 4th, but he was leading for a while on that bottom line. Now he's got a little bit of work to do, and he should be very aggressive on that top line, and he would definitely be one to block that 3rd line if it comes to that.
And in the midst of all that, Anna Sogok and Slaughter went 1-2 right before the yellow came out through the middle, so they're not going to be working together unless Slaughter goes and lets Anna Sogok in line, or Anna Sogok just gets in line as soon as possible behind Slaughter. But I would definitely keep an eye on Cameron Hearn, though, because if there's someone who's going to make it 3 wide, it's going to be him.
Keep an eye on Cameron Hearn. Trying to also keep an eye on, let's see, who's some other drivers we want to definitely look out for. Ryan Hartz in the 3, arguably has been quieter in some cases and aggressive in others, but he's been lurking up near that top 5. Alex Weaver has been pretty aggressive himself, although his car, I've been a little bit concerned with the way his cars looked in some cases, so definitely might be someone to keep an eye on. But the 62 has always managed to push someone to the lead, so if he can get hooked up with someone quick enough, might be one to watch in that case. And then James Skyley in the 7, we saw him near the front for quite a bit, been mired back in these recent laps, but could be lurking here on the restart as we get double foul up. Indeed, we're going to have 4 laps to go.
Scully was another victim of the bottom line going away at the worst time. That's why he's 9th. Garrett Grant, he got a little bit of right front damage, but he's in a good spot. He's really been laying back all race long. Started 42nd, is up in the top 10. The Ironman of this area, most starts out of anyone, so definitely knows how to get around the track. He's just got to get it done here, but he will probably need to make a 3rd line immediately. There might not be enough laps to form a 3rd line, though, Hunter, but I feel like if you're maybe outside the top 10, you have no choice but to try.
Oh, yeah, you got to try. You can't give up. And look at that 3rd car on the inside line. That's Ryan Swan in the 20. He's got a win at Talladega back in Season 2. He knows a thing or two about winning on these super speedways, and he's very quietly worked his way inside the top 5 guys. I really wouldn't count him out either. I'd keep an eye on that 20 car and the 67 of Aaron, and obviously the leader, the 9 of Brad Slaughter.
A lot of drivers to keep an eye on here as the laps are winding down. Guys, do you think we're going to have to use that green-white checkered?
Yep.
No doubt about
They
it.
get 3 for 3 this week. I'm just hoping we get another green flag finish. Did not get it on Monday night. Got it on Tuesday night. Had a solid finish on Tuesday night, albeit on a green-white checkered. Just need to get there tonight.
Well, pace car is going to make the left-hand turn off on a pit road. I think all of us in the booth are suspicious that's probably not going to be the last time we see the pace car out on the track, but we'll see what these guys can do here. 4 laps of scheduled distance left in this race. Brad Slaughter leading him down, and the green flag back in the air here at Daytona. Will it be the final restart of the night? Let's see what happens. Anasoga getting a decent jump on the inside lane, and Cameron Hearn getting an aggressive push to the back of the 9 near the front.
Slaughter took the top. I thought Anna Sogok would let him in, but not the case, as they're going to be side by side for the lead. 67 pushing the top lane, and Shane Abbey on the bottom instead of being in the 3rd line. Look at the run this top line will get.
Side by side for the lead down the backstretch, and
Here
it seems
comes Grant.
like Garrett Grant trying to make that 3rd line
Let's
go.
block them.
They're not really going anywhere. That inside line is going to be boot scooting and boogieing. It's just an Anna Sogok in the lead with Shane Abbey behind pushing.
Shane Abbey trying to give a shove to the 88 and the 9 and 67, trying to see if they can get hooked up on the top. Some decent cars up near the top lane. And there you see Colin Farmo potentially trying to join up with Garrett Grant. Grant gets shuffled all the way on back, so a third lane, no factor at the moment. 3 to go at the line.
Oh, Skyler got bumped out of line there. Now he has no choice but to go up there, but Fambro might come with him. He's thinking about it. Skyler's going to have to get back down as they're side-by-side for the lead. I thought Slaughter could clear, not quite. And Asogak back to the front.
They might have a chance coming out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. And as soon as I say that's Scioli with a massive run, Fambro behind, going to push him, try to get that third line going. But that middle lane now, Slaughter does have the advantage, and Asogak still with him. Hearn still pushing the 9, and the 7 is Scioli trying to make his voice heard on that outside.
Well,
there they go.
Sideways and they're wrecking hard off for turn 4. Caution going to be out again, and there's the big one.
Oh, Fambro
Massive
over
crash.
into the
Oh,
air.
he's levitating! He's levitating, and now he's on his lid again.
And that's the big one. No doubt, that is the big one.
It was going to happen at some point. We're waiting for it, and it happened coming to 2 laps to go. Let's take a look and see where that all started.
Right behind Scioli, too. He actually got a little bit of that. Did not start with Andrew Santo. See where this happened in the middle, part of 3 wide. Starts with Fambro, and who's that in the middle? Hearts? Oh, that was Fambro and the 21 might have come together. Matt Albertson.
So many other cars just piling in there at the second, because they had nowhere really to go. Austin Gacone was the number 8 in the middle of that as well.
Yeah, that was wild. Is that top lane, that third lane almost went somewhere. We'll see here as Alverson gets side by side with Fambro, trying to follow Hearts. They might kind of came together, came into one another's lane.
Yeah, Wash is 18.
Oh, he might have went under him. Oh no, he didn't. He's
Almost
right
did.
in front of him.
Try to see right on board Shane Terrian. We haven't not seen a whole lot of this race. He was kind of lurking there in the midfield when this happened. And this all went off extremely quickly.
Ooh, nowhere to go. Beckner came down the
Whoa.
track. Oh, there's Fambro.
There's Fambro again.
Oh, he got a few big hits there. Not what you want to see.
I think also got to look, Justin Munsell, I think, got some decent look at this as well, starting or in further back. Trying to slow down. Ooh, got some hits from 98, and there's the 18 going into orbit.
Could have gone
Tire
worse
track block.
for him. Could have gone worse for him. Still got a decent bit of damage, but he did a good job getting on the binders until the 98 came in.
All right, so who does that leave us with? I think mostly a lot of the top 5/top 10 got away with that. A lot of the drivers further on behind pay the price.
And Asogak is in prime. He's looking for not just another win here at Daytona, but two nights of racing in a row could happen here. Shane Abbey got a good luck there. Gets the second, Slaughter third, Hearn back the fourth again. And this is some different names in the top 10. Scioli stays out even with his damage. Look at John Furness. He got the lucky dog maybe a yellow or two ago. He's in the top 10 out of all this. And Michael Muhammad has not been near the front all day, and he finds himself in 8th.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can see right there, lowest is 36, started 22nd, highest of 8th, where he's currently running right now, so he's looking pretty good. That being said, some damage to the rear and the front of that car, but I think at this point you're going to just work with what you got and just kind of hope for the best. Trying to see if there are any other surprise names near the front. Tom Bourne's kind of gotten back up there. His car still has seen some better days.
Same for Matthew Cochran in 13th. Chambliss was just in the other yellow. He's 17th. Munsell 16th, even being involved in that. A lot of these guys staying out because they know a green-white checkered finish is imminent.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much of a point in pitting unless you got terminal damage to the engine. The engine's still running in a semi-decent shape. You might as well
You're
stay
on track
out there.
Yeah.
Especially there's a wreck, and so now, well, we definitely have seen the pace car. Will be the final time. Actually, I shouldn't say it's the final time we've seen pace car. This will be the final attempt at a green-white checkered here.
One and only.
Yep, one and only. So, do we make it to the white flag now is the question.
I hope they do.
I think we do.
I think we do. I think what we've seen is that it takes a lot for these guys to kind of get up to speed and start pushing each other, and I think by the time we get to the white flag, I think they'll be able to make it through. after the white flag, it's anyone's guess.
It really depends on who that didn't pit is going to be way off pace. Like guys I'm worried about, for example, like Cochran and Chambliss and Munsell, and look at Chris Rabel, the only highest running modified in 19th. Those are the guys I worry about, because if they're going so slow because of their damage and they're in the racing line, that could easily cause a yellow that ends this one. So if you're at the front, you've got to be on your toes and be ready to try to take the lead as soon as you can, because that yellow could come out before you even get out of turn 2.
A season ago, this race ended under caution in the middle of 3 and 4 with the drivers coming to the white flag. Ultimately came to the caution and white flag coming out. And then Monday night, we saw they didn't even make it out of turn 2 before the yellow came out, and that Area 500 ended under caution. Will we get a different result tonight, or will it be the same with Justin Anasogak winning? Shane Abbey has an open car after all the troubles he's been through. He restarts second on that outside line.
See the pace car in the distance making the final turn on a pit lane. Last time we're going to see a turn off tonight and let these cars go loose. We got 2 laps on the board. Let's go back racing green here at Daytona. Immediately Brad Slaughter going to jump down in behind the 88. What we thought we would see on the last restart. Can these two work together enough to break away from the lead?
They're already hitting in the back. Cars on the apron, trying to rejoin. Got to be careful. They keep it straight for now. Shane Abbey did not get a good restart, but he's got to run now. Slaughter jumps to the top, trying to get to the lead as soon as possible, and he's going to edge ahead out of turn 2.
Big push coming from Shane Abbey to Brad Slaughter. He's going to take over as the race leader for now. Here comes Hearn and Anasogak working on the bottom. Ryan Swan, that third car on the inside. They're touching in the back, but they're still green.
Still green. They're going to. I think these leads are going to hope that they stay green, especially they got a shot here. You see the pack separate in the back. So far, so good out of turn 4. I don't see any signs of a caution coming out. And here we go. White flag in the air. 1 more lap to go here at Daytona.
Anasogak with the head of steam down the front stretch, but Slaughter Jr. and Shane Abbey fight back. The 9 very sideways off the bumper of the 84, and the 67 out of shape trying to push as well. There he goes, Slaughter's going to spin. Hearn on the apron. Everyone's going to crash. Justin Anasogak's the only one to get out of it. Unbelievable. They're flipping out of turn number 2, and it's Justin Anasogak with a great run to get his second win of the week.
He has absolutely nothing but clear track ahead of him. It's absolute chaos in behind. I can't even keep track of what's going on behind. Through the smoke, Alex Weaver trying to chase him on down. Andrew Santoso out by himself. The entire top 3 out by themselves, completely separated. And the 88 of Justin Anasogak is going to come across the line. The green flag is still in the air, uncontested. The 88 of Anasogak wins at Daytona in one of the most unconventional fashions I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh.
In my years of covering iRacing. Oh boy.
A 2-second victory at Daytona, not what I expected.
Under green.
We can actually count who finishes where. Weaver, Zanto, Slaughter, Cochran. Matthew Cochran gets a top 5. Scioli gets 6th. Chambliss, Silver, Coe, and Beckner the top 10. I have never seen anything like that in an Xfinity race. Oh my gosh.
That's a heartbreak 2 seasons in a row for Alex Weaver. If you recall, season 3, they had a massive wreck on the last lap of the Area 500, and he was that second car that couldn't do anything with Travis Beckner in front because he had no help. This time, it's in the Pro Series, and Justin Anasogak gets his second win of the season, but first win in the Florida Estate Builders Area Pro Series. What a win for the 88.
I've been shocked. What the world?
What on earth do we see? We've seen a lot of things this race, a lot of first things for this race. This race has been nothing but surprises, but for Anasogak, arguably it was not too much of a surprise. Saw him get the win earlier this week in the Truck Series, and now getting it 2 for 3 here at Daytona as he gets congratulations from everyone up and down the grid, bringing this car back. And one of the only cars to really not have any damage in the entire field.
I was about to say, he's only got a little ding on the rear end, but he's good, pretty much.
They do it different in Alaska. I don't know what they do, but they do it different.
And he's going to line it down here at the start-finish line. Well earned for the 88.
Thing I'm probably more excited about than Justin Anasogak winning is that Andrew Santo finished 3rd, and we get to talk to him in just a few minutes. This is, man, what a great finish for the Santo machine.
That means ChatGPT had the highest finishing pick. Just want to throw that out there.
maybe we should make ChatGPT a guest announcer next week.
43rd to 3rd. That is unbelievable.
It's had a wild day. A lot of the guys in this grid have had a wild day. You can see Anastasia testing the durability of this engine. I'm amazed it hasn't blown up yet.
And Kane's looking at that like, why couldn't that have been my engine, huh?
While he's still running it, let's take a chance to look at your results here. Got Justin Anasoga, you running. There goes the engine. Finally, Alex Weaver, Andrew Santo, second and third. We're going to be talking to them just a little bit with Brad Slaughter and Matthew Cochran, James Kelly, Brian Chambliss in the top 7, Nick Silver, James Coe, and Travis Beckner rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, Chambliss out of nowhere was just able to get through it as much. 15 seconds between everyone in the top 10. Who expected that? That is unbelievable as we scroll through the rest of the order. Munsell, Irvin, Furness gets 13th. I thought he had such a big run in the turn 1. I thought he could do something, but it's just not quite. Cameron Hearn, a disappointing 15th. Alverson, Michael Muhammad got to the front at the worst time. He gets 19th. Same thing for Shane Abbey. Just barely in the top 20, Hunter.
Yeah, unreal finish to that race. We might have to take a replay at
yes,
crash because there was so much going on back there, and saw Ryan Swan there. He restarted 5th, didn't quite get the result he wanted. Same with Jordan Martin, Bryce Hanasak, a lot of these guys really, and you'll see it here on the next page with Mason Kane. Had a really strong run for his first race in a long time in area, and just the engine really was the only hindrance in this race. Other than that, I thought he had a absolutely outstanding race.
Yeah, they're riding out there. You can see Chuck Sweeting, Ryan Dunkelberg, and Rob Ackley rounding your field of 43. DeLeo Brown and Kaneda obviously not qualifying for this event. Let's try to see if we can get some replays lined up for everyone at home because, man, it's that there was a lot to unpack on that final lap.
Yeah, it started. Brad Slaughter Jr. was the first one I saw go around. We really knew that the bumping that was going on would not last the entire race. We, in fairness, came 3 turns away from it working, but just one little bump that went wrong, it caused all that mayhem. I don't think there was a single car other than the 88 and 62 to really get out of that alive.
And we got the replay lined up here. So I believe it started with Brad Slaughter. We'll take a look from the camera up above. You're going to see the 9 go off into turn 1. I think it's a tap from the 84, and there around he goes. And everyone getting stacked up here. You saw the 84 sneak his way on through this entire second pack.
Whoa,
oh my God!
Andrew Santo punting the 20 Ryan Swan to get through. Hang on one second.
Was that
Ryan
him? He
Swan
went through Ryan Swan?
Ryan Swan is never going to live that one down.
So this is Santo's view. Keep in mind he finished in 3. He sees this entire pack wreck ahead of him. He dives down low, the 20 getting hit.
Whoa. That was Shane Abbey. He bounced off of it and put him in the clear. Unbelievable. Ooh, I don't even know who hit Ryan Swan, but it sent him just going end over end twice.
Where is Ryan Swan? There is Ryan Swan.
Was it not Shane Abbey? I thought it was him.
Oh, it might have been Shane Abbey. Well, Shane Abbey hit Santo down, but I don't think it was Santo or Abbey that hit the 20. It was Scioli who hit him, actually.
And it ended up losing it again. Hang on, iRacing doesn't like going through replays like this because of how chaotic it is.
Munsell. He got, Scioli pile drove the 20.
Trying to see, where did Ryan Swan finish? 23rd. Okay, found him.
Which means he finished ahead of some drivers, so he drove it back.
Alright, so let's see, get there, cut back to the feed, here we go. So this is a look at Ryan Swan, where he was in the middle of all this. See, 3rd on the inside lane.
That was actually pretty poor in netcode. You see Swan had nowhere to go. He's just in the middle of the crash.
And he got hit by literally everyone.
Bam! Right
and
there.
over.
A full barrel roll. Unbelievable. And he drove it back.
Right on board also James Scioli, and see his view of it.
Oh!
Second before disaster.
Let's listen to the revs. Does he lift? I'm still waiting for a lift. Oh, there it is.
Records or checkers. I mean, it kind of worked
He got
out for
through
it.
It did.
The last lap.
C's
You never
parted.
lift on the last
He got
lap.
6th. It definitely worked.
The C's parted. He had to punch the C, but the C's did part. And right on board with Brad Slaughter.
He ended up finishing, actually got ahead in the 4th through all this.
Yeah, I'm amazed he ended up finishing 4th. Look how many times he's gotten hit. Then has James Scioli come out in front of him, and that's
Santo
Cochran in as well. So this is all these guys coming in the background there. There you see Brad Sauter trying to make a pass.
How did Alex Weaver?
That right there is the pass for 4th place.
How did Alex Weaver get through that to get second? He must have been on the bottom lane.
He was I think was one of the few that got extremely lucky. Obviously, other than Justin Ascoli making through. This will be the final replay we take a look at here. So this is from Alex Weaver's point of view.
Right there. Man, they just all went to the top at the best time.
He drove down on the apron and look at all the carnage behind that he avoided.
If he just had a little bit more momentum coming out of that, he might have been able to stay with the 88 to get drafted. Just not quite.
I know he's got PTSD after avoiding the wreck and then seeing the car 2 seconds in front of him on the last lap going, you gotta be kidding me. Not again, but another 2nd place for Alex Weaver.
Well, while we're finishing up the replays here, let's start talking to our podium finishes. Andrew Santo, man, how on earth did you manage to get your way through that? You walk us through those last few laps.
Honestly, staying on the bottom. I got no words. I thought we were done after I clipped the apron about 10 laps ago. I thought, honestly, my race and my teammates' race were over after the big wreck, and I just sucked on the draft. I just kept on the way, and it worked.
It did work, and really, just talking about your race in general, we saw you up near the front for most of the day. What was really the strategy? Was it trying to stay up near the front as long as you can, lead as many laps, be up there, or kind of lay low, just kind of feel things out?
Honestly, it was to stay up front, be at the back end of the pack, try to work with other teams, even though nobody was really giving out information. It was really just figure out when people pit, when's the right time to pit, who are the great who are great teams to pit with and stick with throughout, and we were lucky to make it work.
Lucky to make it work. Somehow through the carnage, you managed to break your way inside the top 3, Andrew. Congratulations on a top 3 finish.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, real quick, Sando, I want to say personally, congratulations. I know it's been a long time coming for you. You've been in this thing for quite some time, and I was actually looking at it. Back in Season 3, your highest finish was 9th at Iowa, but now you got a new career high in a 3rd place finish on podium. Very well deserved. You kept your foot in it. You got through the wreck somehow.
Honestly, I thought Brad was going to catch me, and I didn't know until I got out of turn 4. I was shouting to my teammates, boys, we got a top 3!
Yeah, been a long time coming. Congrats again, Santo. Very well deserved.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to our 2nd place finisher, Alex Weaver, one of the few drivers to get lucky in that last lap wreck. Alex, walk us through your game plan and how everything unfolded for you in the number 62 machine and how that race finished.
Yeah, I was honestly trying to get with my teammates there on the outside, and I guess it's kind of a luck of the draw that I didn't, because a nice little gap opened up there towards the end. But really, all in all, it was a lot of fun out there. Found ourselves up at the front pretty earlier than I wanted to be, and just kind of rode around and stayed clean, and luckily missed everything. So it was a great race.
Was great for you at the end. Walk us through, talk to us about how the car is handling, because we saw a lot of cars throughout the entire race struggling, especially out of the corners, sliding up a little bit, and even sometimes in the middle corners breaking loose. So how big of an issue was handling out there? Because we usually don't talk about that at Daytona.
Yeah, it was definitely getting a little tight for me, but I can say most of my handling was just when I was a pusher. I was getting real hot behind the guy in front of me, so I was trying to get a little air, but definitely towards the end of that run there, it was definitely getting a little tight off the corner. I didn't really have any loose issues unless apron was clipped, but mostly just tight.
All right, well, Alex, congratulations. Everything worked out relatively good for you near the end of that. Started in 36th, ended up finishing in 2nd place. Congrats on your 2nd place finish, Alex.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Shout out to my guys at IRLC. Good finish for the boys tonight for a P2. Had some trouble with the other guys, but good finish to start the season.
All right, and last but certainly not least, moving on to our race winner, Justin Anasoga. Justin's not the first time you've been talked to as the race winner this week, winning in the Truck Series and now winning in the Pro Series. How did you manage to pull it off, especially getting yourself in a great position there coming to the white flag?
Honestly, I don't know. it all happened with like maybe 10 to go when Brad got put in the middle and my teammate was like, "Go with Brad." And I was like, "All right, here we go." And then I went with Brad and we just went to the front. And it kind of sucked that second to last caution came out because I was just gonna push Brad to the win, you know. And then I got the chance on another restart, and it sucks that net code happened on the last lap, but got myself a hell yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you too, because I don't recall you actually leading too many laps. I wanted to take a look here. The only okay, actually didn't lead as few as I thought. Only 7 laps. Was the game plan for you and your team, you know, kind of just sticking up near the front, but not necessarily pushing to the lead, or were you trying to get the lead as much as you can?
It was really hard to go anywhere, but as long as you had a good lead car up front and a good pusher, you can go somewhere. And we tried doing it, and we got messed up on some pit entries and got fallen behind. But man, I just like to thank DWR, Matt Co-Tools coming on board. Man, first win for you know, a new team, new series. Man, it's excited for the playoffs now.
Definitely sure you are excited for it, Justin. Thanks for talking to us. A great run in the 88 machine, and best of luck to you for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, with that, gentlemen, that's going to wrap up interviews here from tonight. And whew, what a night of racing, huh?
I'll say, my goodness, that was. I don't think there was any other way that one was going to finish with what we saw the rest of the 96 or 7 other laps. That was incredible stuff all night long. We saw, I guess, we thought we saw the big one, and then we saw the huge one. Wild finish, and it's probably the only time you will ever see a 2-second gap from first to second. Anna Sogok pretty much conquered this track. He definitely conquered the World Center of Racing this time around, Hunter.
Well, now he's got a triple crown of his own. He needs a cup win now. I mean, 1 in trucks, 1 in the Pro Series, and yeah, what a crazy race there at the very end. What a crazy race all around. We had a bunch of contacting cars, spinning, flipping, dipping, ripping. Didn't have the cautions to show for it in the beginning, but at the very end, when it mattered the most, these guys, they showed their aggression, and boy, oh boy, the C's, did they ever part for Justin Sogok? He got the job done. Excited what Season 4 has in store for us, as we'll be back Monday night with the Area Cup Series, Tuesday night for the Area Truck Series, and then a week from tonight, the Florida Estate Builders Area Pro Series.
Yeah, I can't wait to get next week's racing done. We are done finally with Daytona, and I'm sure a lot of these drivers can't wait to go to some tracks where there's arguably a little bit more skill involved, at least technical skill involved. But some great racing, as Hunter mentioned, coming across the calendar across all 3 series next week. But for now, my name is Vinny Nakuna here with Connor Horn and Hunter Sleppy, and we'll be signing out from SimTV here at Daytona. Thank you for watching.